Child Fund, because we need each other.
Learn more at childfund.org. That's childfund.org.
Winter's coming, so let's kick off the cold season right and get your heater all tuned up. Now just $79. No matter how cold it gets outside, you'll always be warm and toasty inside. Plumbing, sewer, electrical, heating, and air, Bonnie.com.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
KHTK-AM Sacramento. KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
Sacramento's official home for the San Francisco 49ers.
Touchdown! San Francisco!
Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Christopher Ladd with your Sactown Sports headlines. Week 9 of the NFL kicked off last night with the Pittsburgh Steelers beating the Tennessee Titans 20-16. Titans rookie quarterback Will Levis didn't have quite the game that he had in his first start. He was 22 of 39, throwing for 262 yards, no touchdowns, and 1 interception. Sacramento Kings are on the road. They take on the Houston Rockets this weekend. De'Aaron Fox missed the last game with a sprained ankle, but the Athletics' Shams Charania is reporting that he could play as soon as Saturday or Monday for the Kings. You can listen to Saturday's game right here on Sactown Sports. Reminder, all guests come to you via the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Those are your headlines. Now let's get started with the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
The Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone. And then boom,
with Jason Ross.
No, he didn't. Yes, he did.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Hey, we made it. Yeah.
Look at us.
Look at us. Who'd have thought?
Not me.
Not me. Ah. I had something for you, Chris, this morning. I thought of last night. I can't remember it anymore. Nope. Can't remember it. Sorry.
Oh, I remember.
Do you?
Yeah.
What?
Have a blast.
Yeah.
Have what?
I was trying to remember what I was supposed to do today, but yeah, that's right. Have a blast.
Have a blast. Yeah, it's not going to come to me. Good morning, everybody. Welcome in. It is Friday. It is November 3rd, 2023. You have almost made it. It is almost the weekend, and yeehaw. And for those of you that it is not the weekend for you, get better jobs. I don't know. I don't know what else to say. I don't know what else to say.
Peace be with you.
Maybe they have better jobs. Maybe they only work Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
What if they work one day a week? And they're like, take that, Carmichael Dave.
Yeah, then I need to get a better job.
Yeah.
Exactly. We had football last night. We got basketball this weekend. We got a lot to talk about. We got a lot of guests on. I did want to bring you guys this. I had a sit down with the kiddos last night over dinner, and we were talking about like the road to adulthood and
this was coming from you?
Well, we were just having a talk because Avery's going to start looking at colleges next year, and Mason's kind of they're on the same track, and I didn't do that. So I've been very open with my kids about what my path diverging from the norm and how that's I've been very sensitive to the whole. Well, Daddy, you love your job. Why do we need to go to college? Which, thank God, was never a thing with them. But I want to make sure that they know that I would love to go back and change all of that, but I can't. And I had to do some things differently.
Would you?
I think so.
Okay.
I think so. I've thought about it but what if things turn out? And my mom and dad warned me, my dad especially. He warned me. I give him full credit. The whole your parents are smarter the older you get type of thing. But he warned me growing up. Look, you want the experience. They both had their 4-year experience at FSU. That's where my dad met my mom, and he's, got his little class ring and, blah, 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 just doing all that. I just school. And I, once I turned, 15, school, and I just didn't shake hands. But I really want that for my children, and thankfully they want it. But it was one of those, hopefully they don't, of course, but you generally have to go through a tough period before you settle.
Right.
I firmly believe that 18 and 20, you're not really an adult either until you're not. I think there's factors that go into being an adult. I think 30 is more of a good age. I think your parents dying helps.
Jesus.
No, I put a lot of thought into this. I do think.
You tell them that last night?
I said
you're not going to be an adult until I'm gone.
I did.
You're gonna miss me when I'm gone.
I said I wanted to point out our blessings. Like they have been raised in a home with their mother and father married their whole life.
Yeah.
I was raised. My mom and dad are still together. Melissa's mom and dad are still together, and I want to make sure that they understand that. And I'm not advocating for people that hate each other to stay together, but that's not always the norm. And it's a blessing for all of us that we've been able to have that sort of consistency, that many of their friends don't have that. So be thankful for that. Number one. Number two, I still have both of my parents. Melissa lost her father a couple of years ago. And, one of the things she said when we were going through that and I don't know if people can identify with this or not, but when you lose a parent, a piece of your childhood goes with that. And when you lose both, you don't have them there anymore. You're always, so the ability to go in and feel like a child when you're around your parents, which I still do sometimes at my advanced age. But when I get around my mom and dad, they're my mom and dad.
Right.
They're my mom and dad.
Always will be.
They always will be. And I'm always going to be deferential and respectful. And I don't swear in front of them. I don't feel comfortable doing that stuff. But also, I think having children is another benchmark. Again, you can be an adult without having children. Don't get me wrong, but I'm saying when
you seem like you're specifically coming at me with all of these things.
No, and I'm trying to be really careful to say that there's, of course, exceptions.
You have to go to college. Your parents.
I think that although one can lead a fine and perfectly fulfilling life without being a parent, I do think when you become a parent, that forces you in a sense to do some growing up immediately, whether you want to or not. Now you have these hungry, crying little bastards that are relying on your stupid,
that's one way to look at it,
but to feed them. But we started talking about jobs and the road to the job.
Yeah.
I don't have any experience coming out of school with a 4-year degree. You do. I don't have that experience. So
it hasn't been easier.
It was having a 4-year degree. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're guaranteed a job now.
And I don't want to, and I certainly don't want to. The last message I want to spread to them is, get a degree, don't get a degree. It doesn't really matter. I want them. The degree won't hurt them, and I hope it won't.
It could.
It could.
Yeah.
How?
A lot of people with degrees that have a lot of money to pay right now.
Well, that's actually a great point. But I feel like you, me, most people listening went through a time, mine was always, whether I was in Nebraska working at a gun range or living in my car or again, living in a 81 Celica downtown, splitting time at the rock station, working 3 jobs. Chris, I mean, when I met you, you were delivering breakfast pizzas and working here. And did you at one point have 3 jobs, I think? I can't remember.
Yeah, I'd move occasionally. I do moving jobs occasionally.
And we've all been, most people have been through that where you're living with 3, 4, 7 people. You've got a 6-month-old frozen pack of drumsticks from Safeway in the freezer and Totino's pizzas and God knows,
those were the days.
And in some ways they were.
Yeah.
In some ways and that's
going out with only $20
at best.
I mean, at best, and we're in different time periods probably, but I remember when I was a senior and I had the standoff with my parents. My mother basically.
Were the police involved?
No, but
standoff.
I didn't want to go to school anymore. And she said, well, you can't be in the house while during school hours. So I don't care what you do. I mean, she cared, but you have to get out of the house. So every day I would walk to Ernie's Wines and Liquors and I would buy a pack of smokes for $2.12. I would then go to the donut shop by Copeland Sports, Marconi and Fair Oaks, and I would spend $1.50 on coffee, and $1 would get me 2 donuts, and that would be breakfast. And then I would go over with about $6 to Pizza Hut, where I would help them. I didn't work there, but I got to know the guys where I'd bust tables for them when people weren't around, and in exchange, I could get a drink and refill it, and I could eat off the Pizza Hut buffet that they used to have from noon to 2. That was how to survive on $10, a day, which I got car washing. We've all, that's very specific for me, but Jason, even you, I mean, going to college and all that, you've had lean times.
Oh, absolutely.
You had times where you were having to hustle.
Yeah. Or just not being able to do things. Like literally that was the other option. Is like, well, I can't because I literally have zero
money.
Yeah.
None.
Yeah.
And
oh man, I'm out of cash.
I was all out of cash. I needed a cash grab.
Yeah. And looking at, looking at the, before you could just check on your phone, once upon a time, kids, we had to, and I'm sure there's older people that are like, oh, that's high technology. But I remember having to stop through the B of A and put my card in just to check my balance.
Exactly.
And you'd check the balance and you just kind of, sometimes I'd have a few bucks in there. Sometimes I'd have 18 cents. And the real special times right before paydays when it would say like minus $84 and it was, oh my God, what bills are going to come through? Am I going to make it on time?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that that's a good thing. I am saying, and what I told them is I said, there is something about struggling. And God, in this day and age, you have to disclaim everything. But please understand, I know that there are people who have far worse struggles. We can only speak to the ones we went through. But any form of struggle, financially especially, it makes it it gives you something to compare it to when you're not even when you're just making ends meet.
Right.
Making those ends meet is a big deal. Chris, I'm sure growing up had the same experiences too, where it's like
I don't have to worry about that anymore.
Oh, but you had to hustle. You had to be very strategic sometimes in order to have fun. You want to have fun as a youngster.
You learned how.
I one time went to Las Vegas with $200.
You're kidding. And how long?
And I was just like, I'm a millionaire.
I
got the city by its tail.
Right. The music, the New York or whatever Sinatra music's playing. I got on a Greyhound bus from St. Paul, Minnesota once, and I had $10, literally $10 for the whole stinking trip. And half of that left in Iowa when I went to McDonald's, got a Big Mac value meal. I had $5 left. I think the rest of that was gone by Little America, Wyoming. But thank God I found this lady who I was sitting next to. She was a total classic hippie, like looked the part, was the part, and all that. And it's the smartest thing it's one of the smartest things I've ever seen anybody do. She got on in St. Paul too. And she was going one stop past me, San Francisco. I got off at Sacramento. She, in her backpack, amongst the many other things she had 2 loaves of bread, a plastic knife, some napkins, and a giant jar of Nutella. The whole thing probably cost under $10. Let me tell you something. Not only did that get her from St. Paul to San Francisco, that got me because she was nice enough to offer and I was desperate enough to accept. That got me from basically Wyoming to Sacramento. And I guess it just goes to show you the strategies you can learn, the things you pick up, and then you take those to later life.
Yep.
So that was the message we had. I don't know why I got off on that tangent, but we were something about the struggle, which I guess the message is this. If you have struggled before and have somehow made it away, good for you and you appreciate it. But more importantly, if you're struggling right now, if you are in the middle of it right now, just know that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Just keep your head up, keep hustling, keep doing your thing. and it will all work out. And that is one to grow on. And, keep your energy up. Much like the folks over at American Energy will help you do as we get into the winter months. Hi, everybody. It's Carmichael Dave. I want to talk to you about my friends at American Energy Heating and Air. I want to talk to you about rebates. I want to talk to you about $9,000, not doll hairs like you did when you were a kid. Dollars in rebates from SMUD, from American Energy themselves, so much more, up to $9,000 in rebates for a new home comfort system. And they will, as I've told you this, I've tried to hammer this line into you. They will do the work for you. They will do the work to get the rebates out. Now, obviously, they're going to do the work to install the home comfort system. Right now, you got the $49 furnace tune-up and safety inspection going on. Less than $50, dude. You can prevent gas leaks, extend the life of your furnace, save on your energy bills. If you think about it, you're going to use your heater so much this winter. If you're not in the market for a new one, at least drop 50 bones to make sure everything's working properly. You're probably going to end up saving that alone in bills because everything's working properly. This is not a sales service call. They wanted me to make sure to extend that thought to you. This isn't them getting in your home for $50 and then trying to pitch you on a new system. That's not what's going to happen. That's not how they operate. They're just going to check your system for safety and tune the whole thing up. 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com. That's AmericanEnergyAir.com, making the uncomfortable comfortable. We will take a break. When we return, leading off, we got football, we got basketball, and so much more to get to. It's a wonderful Friday. Greg Papa joins us. Dave Richard joins us. We've got Friday fun and games. So much to get to. Stick around. We'll take a 30-second break, and we will be right back.
The Sacramento Kings play here.
He's got the triple. Sacramento takes the lead. Outstanding ball movement by Sacramento.
Every triple, every jam, every Kings win.
Sabonis with the jam over the Joker. He's got the three-point shot.
Get your Kings fix all season long.
Right here on your home of the Sacramento Kings.
Here's a steal by Fox. The breakaway. He's got the rip with the left hand.
Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
Let's do it.
Leading off, the three top stories in the morning.
Huge news. This is very important.
Here's cut number one.
Davion Mitchell brings it up now, matched up with Klay Thompson. Finds Malik Monk working against Peyton II. Screen from Sabonis. Monk spins away, loses the ball, cracks it down. He drives, he kicks to Sabonis. 20-foot set shot. He banks it in. Somehow it found the net. It's 101-100.
I know we talked about it yesterday, but that bank shot went in. That was the one time my body uncontrollably allowed itself to believe that maybe we were going to get the win.
What'd that look like?
This is great.
That's probably what it looked like.
Remember when I'm going to give you a very specific reference. Remember when Captain Over began suffering the symptoms of food poisoning in an airplane, and
he had the fish
shoulder. Yeah, he had the fish, and the shoulder kind of started spasming, and then he drooled a little bit.
Yeah.
Various other things. That was kind of what it looked and sounded like.
Okay.
But in the end, that's not what happened. And the Sacramento Kings take on the Suns for a twofer coming up this weekend. And we're gonna
have
the
Rockets.
Or the Rockets.
What'd I say?
Suns.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Both,
same team.
They're both Southie.
Yeah.
Both hot.
Both hot. Rockets and Suns.
Both under 500.
You know, honestly, I was bringing it up, and I was looking at we will talk about this in number 2 here, the stat line for Victor Wembanyama. My goodness gracious. Yeah, we'll get to that in a second. Rockets starting this weekend. That would be tomorrow to be exact. That's at 5 o'clock right here on the Sportacious 1140. Gary Gerald on the call. But there are, as we first told you, there are developments coming from Shams Charania, who I'm convinced listens to the program, that De'Aaron Fox may end up playing in the second game of the Houston series.
May.
Now, we're also going to get to this later because perusing social media, there are some people that would like for him to stay out until he's fully better.
Quite a few, and maybe some influential people.
Maybe one very influential person more than anyone who weighed in, and it'll be that's an interesting dynamic. I do think he's going to play in game 2. Honestly, at this point, I can see him playing in game 1. But he also spoke at practice yesterday. He actually gave I forget who asked him, but whoever did a good job, a 1 to 10 pain tolerance.
That was our guy, Sean Cunningham.
Was that Sean Cunningham? Okay, good for Sean. I figured. And he rated it as a 4. Huh? Hello, I'm Sean. Sean's another guy you talk a lot of SNL. Isn't he an SNL guy?
Oh, absolutely. Every week.
Us 3, we have to give our
the 3.
Yeah, we have to give our updates.
Real quick aside, our went over and saw our friends for trick or treating because their kids and our kids went out, and before it got dark, they're a huge Nate. They're huge. They were on Nate Bargatze before anybody I know. Huge Nate Bargatze fans, and so I got over there, and they immediately were like, "Did you see the skit? Did you see the skit?" And I was like, "I did. I've been spreading it as much as I can. It's phenomenal." And they go, "Oh my God," when he kept apologizing like that I couldn't. And I was like, "What?" When he kept apologizing.
Different skit.
Totally different skit. The like Top Chef skit or whatever, they played that. I actually thought the metrics one was better, but still rather. The fact that he kept apologizing. You get it? I may just have to go back and watch. Who was the musical guest?
Foo Fighters.
Okay, I got to go back and watch it. I do have it on DVD.
And they even had Christopher Walken introduce him.
Oh, didn't he do the whole Foo Fighters?
Foo Fighters.
Yeah. I may have to actually go back and watch the whole thing. Cut number 2, please.
Cut number 2.
Outside right now to Wembanyama, 10 to shoot. Wembanyama straight away, 3 over Eubanks. That's so Wembanyama. 36 points for Victor Wembanyama.
Wasn't that an afternoon TV show? That's so Wemby.
Yes, it was.
That's so Wembanyama. Is that what he said?
Is that safe to play?
I don't even know, but I kind of want the T-shirt.
You do?
That's so Wembanyama. Whatever, dude. It was
that's how we played. Whatever that meant.
Whatever that meant. The Spurs own the Suns.
Yeah, they do. They better not meet in a playoff series.
Voof. That was up 27, I think, at one point. The Suns ended up tying it up in the seesaw second half. But Victor Wembanyama, what do you know? We've got some numbers historically to share with you about him. But 38 points on 15 and 26, 3 3-pointers made, 10 boards, 2 assists, 2 blocks, a steal, just 2 turnovers, which I think is incredibly impressive for a rookie that size. Jason, we said it before, we'll say it again. The only thing standing in the way of this guy being a shoe-in top 10, legendary, generational player is injury.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, he's got all. I mean, I joked early on, like, is he just a perimeter player? Well, he was hitting his threes, but then they were getting plenty of lobs to him, dunks, finishes. He showed everything last night.
I'm really, I watched a few of his games last year with whatever he was with, and what was it, the Akron 857s, or it was something in France, I think, and it's tough to get a feel there. What I've noticed. And that is my favorite league pass team so far. What I've noticed with him that jumps out, other than the obvious, he seems to have an incredibly high basketball IQ. Mm-hmm. He seems to actually be ahead of many of his teammates already, and the kid's a teenager. When they really figure out what he is, and start surrounding him with equally as IQ type players, when they learn what to surround him with. There's going to be rings on this guy's finger, I think, and I just hope that they wait for us to get one.
Yeah, Kings better step on it here.
And congratulations to the Spurs. It's about time, finally. After
struggle is real for them.
I don't know how long that franchise has been around for, but finally they get a franchise big man.
Maybe Pop will get some wins.
Maybe he will.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll extend his career a little bit, and we'll find out, is he a good coach?
Right.
Cut number 3, please.
Cut number 3.
When I'm in a leash, I'm not just shooting the basketball every time. I mean, like I think the game, and I'm a creator on the court. You know what I mean? So if I got a voice to where I can, hey coach, I see this. You know what you think about this? Then it's like, oh, okay. Like somebody that trusts me, that believes in me, that understands me, that I'm just not I'm not a system player. I am a system. You know what I mean? So But in my opinion, I just feel like, we allowed him to just be himself, and we gave him the ball every single possession. And because he's really good. I mean, he's an amazing, player. Obviously, being that great of a passer, I think we gave him the ball. If you watch again, we gave him the ball every single possession to just go out and do his thing. And from that, he had to make decisions as far as getting guys open, or looking out for himself.
Oh, that rough piece of audio at the end was Joel Embiid basically saying, dude, he wasn't on a leash. James Harden in the first clip said he was basically on a leash last year. But the quote heard around the world, I'm not a system player. I'm a system. I actually think it's one of the smartest, most introspective things James Harden's ever said. And I completely agree. Now, I would just substitute the word system with team, and you have the perfect quote. I'm not a team player. I am the team. I think it's an incredibly insightful, whether he meant it that way or not, an incredibly introspective quote. One of, and again, I'm not trying to be hyperbolic here. It's one of the most unintentionally insightful quotes I've heard in a very long time from a star caliber player. And I think it sums it up. He's absolutely right. He's not a system player at all. He is the alpha, the omega, the nucleus, the sun, whatever you want to call it. But unfortunately, that's not a winning formula. And what could possibly go wrong in LA?
Yeah, I think in his career, he's been that. And it's won him a lot of games.
Yeah.
He hasn't won the ultimate title, the ultimate prize, which is a title.
Yeah.
But you're right. He's now in a place where I don't know that he can afford to be that. I mean, I would say he can't afford to be that.
He cannot afford to be that.
So
he cannot afford, when you're playing with Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, and Russell Westbrook, he cannot afford to be that.
There'll be moments.
Sure.
But you more of the time, he's got to figure out a way to fit in with that group.
If there was a way to put a needle in every one of those players' necks, well, I'd take away Kawhi, actually, and Paul, maybe half of him. But I'm saying it inject 100% unselfishness into them, where it does not matter. We do not care what your box score is. We don't care if you score 1 point or 90 points. It's all about winning. If they were paid based on wins, just period, if that's how they played, I would be worried about them winning a title. I would legitimately be worried about them winning a title because there is that base talent there. I just don't see that possible. I don't see Russ and James especially not wanting to get theirs, and putting those two when they started out as babies together at OKC and now full-grown men with families and hundreds of millions in the bank and legacies and lights at the end of the tunnel of their careers. I have a really hard time seeing them both coexisting for any period of time.
It'll be interesting to watch.
We will talk a little bit more about that at 7 a.m. We'll take a break. When we come back, could De'Aaron Fox play in Houston, and what most influential person would like for him to not play in Houston? We'll talk about it next.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL?
Well, Sactown Sports has you covered.
Touchdown! San Francisco! It's all on his shoulders. Cox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Stick to the plan. Trust no one.
From the director of Seven, Fight Club, and Gone Girl.
Anticipate. Don't improvise.
Michael Fassbender.
Forbid empathy. Empathy is weakness. Weakness is vulnerability. This is what it takes if you want to succeed.
The Killer. Rated R. Under 17. Not admitted without parent. In select theaters October. Streaming on Netflix November 10th.
At Grainger, we're for the ones who specialize in saving the day, and for the ones who've mastered the art of keeping business moving. We offer industrial-grade supplies for every industry, with same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders, all backed by real people ready to help. So you can get the right answers and products right when you need them. Call quickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The game of football is about pain. Ever since I was 5 years old, it's been all about football. It's been about running, jumping, blocking, tackling. I stopped playing at 31.
You're listening to Michael Robinson, retired pro fullback.
I thought that foot pain was going to be with me for the rest of my life. I'm so glad I met Good Feet. I'm so glad that those arch supports are in my shoes. I had terrible foot issues that prevented me from really having a normal life with my kids. With the Good Feet arch supports, man, I'm always ready. My kids actually got to enjoy me in the yard more, racing each other, backpedaling, teaching them some things, being a dad. If I had known about the Good Feet arch support earlier, I would have more than one championship. I would have 2 championship rings.
See what we can do for you with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and Vacaville.
Red Hawk Resort Casino is an entertainment experience like no other. We're the only place where you can play blackjack, then hop on an indoor card track. We're the only place with more than 2,000 of the hottest slots and a state-of-the-art 18-lane bowling center. And now with a world-class sports bar and a resort hotel to stay after you play. Is it any wonder we've been voted best over 100 times? We're Red Hawk Resort Casino, official casino partner of the Sacramento Kings.
This year, Staples wants everyone to have a happy Holla deal. That's right, Holla Deal. Staples Holla Deals are amazing savings on hot holiday tech. Great prices on laptops, game systems, earbuds, and more. And now at Staples, you can save up to $300 on select PCs. During Staples Holla Deals, it's not about the fa-la-la. It's about saving moo-la-la. Save up to $300 on select PCs today at Staples. Ends 11/11 in-store only. See associate for details.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Chris Rillard with your Sactown Sports headlines. Week 9 of the NFL kicked off last night with the Pittsburgh Steelers beating the Tennessee Titans 20-16. Titans rookie quarterback Will Levis didn't have quite the game that he had in his first start. He was 22 of 39, throwing for 262 yards, no touchdowns, and 1 interception. The Sacramento Kings are on the road to take on the Houston Rockets. De'Aaron Fox missed the last game with a sprained ankle, but the Athletics' Shams Charania reported yesterday that he could play as soon as Saturday or Monday for the Kings. You can listen to Saturday's game right here on Sactown Sports. Reminder, all guests come to you via the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Those are your headlines. Now let's get back to the Carmichael Dave Show with
Nine 1140
on Sactown Sports.
Bit of a show announcement. Not sure if Jason, you're even aware of this, but we've been known for a long time, years now, I think, as the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross. That changes today, as we are now the Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Kyle Draper. So if you're watching on YouTube, hello, I'm Kevin. You're Kyle.
Oh, that should probably be changed.
Yeah, maybe.
Probably.
Yeah, it's right there. It's a little the Drive Guy. It actually, that looks very nice. They have
a lot better.
Yeah, they have maybe we need to update our there it is. Look at that. There's me and there's you. Okay, well, that was good.
There's Chris back there.
There is Chris back there, and apparently, I guess we already have one. We just don't use it, but I guess we're updating here soon our cameras and our everything, and I guess they're going to change your angle. So your angle and my angle, angles of the dangles are going to be all, more straight on and whatever. But I think we're also going to have a camera in there as well, which I believe
this seems like a cash grab.
I think we do have a camera in there, right? I can't hear you.
We did have one.
We did. We don't anymore.
No. And now that I think about it, I don't know where it is. There was one right here.
We had 2. Now we have a 3rd.
Oh, so that's where it is.
Oh, okay. So we'll have 4 cameras. We'll have 2 cameras, but we'll have one in there because poor Chris, he's just kind of over Jason's shoulder, which I know you don't care about.
Yeah. Now I'm gonna have to change that.
No, my guess is because I can't put it straight on. My guess is it'll kind of be at an above angle down to you. So
it's like going to be a security camera.
A little bit, yeah. It'll be like one of those Ring cameras or whatever. So anyway, Thank you. Thank you. 1-800-912-1140, 916-339-1140. So Sham Charania reporting yesterday on the heels of us reporting it first. I'm joking. Not really. That De'Aaron Fox may in fact play in Houston. Here's the sound.
Yeah, it's a moderate ankle sprain. I mean, it's worse than a grade 1, but this is a guy, De'Aaron Fox, who played through a fractured finger in the playoffs last year. He's clearly got a high pain threshold. So he missed last night's game. He's really right now day-to-day, Michelle. And I'm told he could play as soon as Saturday in Houston or Monday in Houston. They have 2 straight games in Houston where De'Aaron Fox is from. And so he's a quick healer. This is an early part of the season. But look for De'Aaron Fox to potentially return within a week of this injury, which was worse than a grade 1.
So that gets out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then a Kings fan quotes it and says, basically, I don't even want him to come back that early. Sham's reporting that De'Aaron Fox is day-to-day. And then someone named Jason says, I don't even want him to come back that early. And then Erica says, I too think the Kings will be fine playing the Rockets and Blazers without him, but I get why he wants to come back. And then somebody comes in and says, let's bully him into not doing this, which normally you just scroll by, but it's his wife. It's his wife, who's saying, let's bully him into not playing. And then somebody properly and understandably says, well, with all due respect, if you can't get him to sit out and rest, what the hell are we going to do? And she responded and said, with a little laughing emoji, and says, he plays not to let you all down. So you telling him it's fine not to rush back gets us what we all want, which is a healthy De'Aaron Fox. So put it out there, and I think we should continue to put it out there. Feel free to, this is the only time I'm ever going to ask somebody to tag a player or an athlete or somebody on social media. But if you are on social media, feel free to send De'Aaron a nice message today. Tag him and say, we will love you regardless. Please feel free to sit out. It's okay. You're not letting anybody down. Stay out as long as you can. Now, of course, knowing De'Aaron a little bit, my guess is he'll probably roll his eyes, smile, and say, I'm going to do whatever I want to do. But it is Houston's in play. And like I said, I would be mildly surprised if he didn't play game 2.
Yeah, it's really, for me, the way I try to handle all of these is real. The most basic way is the player and the athletic trainers.
Yes.
But Dave, I go back to just recent memory to football. Just a couple weeks ago when the Niners in one game lost Trent Williams, Debo, and Christian McCaffrey. And I think almost everybody universally said, well, the one guy that's out is McCaffrey.
Yes.
And McCaffrey won't play. The other guys, we'll see. And it turns out then we were learning, well, the other 2 guys are probably going to be out, but McCaffrey might play. And then I immediately had the thought of, I don't think he should play.
Yep. Same.
He was great.
And
he said in his words, and I'm sure that his pain, it was gone. It was gone by whatever early in the week. And so he felt, so if that's the case, but he also had some quotes yesterday, and if there's a pain tolerance there, that there's some pain, to me, that seems like someone that should rest. That's me, but I'm also not the starting point guard of this team.
Here's De'Aaron Fox to your point on the timeline.
Do you have an estimate for your timeline on when you're wanting to get back or when you think you can?
Whenever it's not hurting or whenever the pain is less than where it is now. I don't want to rush back, but I want to make sure I'm ready.
He was also asked on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm assuming 10 being the worst. That's what we all kind of figure. How bad is the pain? He said today it's about a 4. Okay. So it's on the lesser side of 5. That's fine.
But then we get to scales of it. So that 4, but my gut, based on what he did a year ago, if this was a playoff series with Houston, don't you think he plays?
100%. I 100% believe he would play.
So it leans you to believe that he could.
Yeah.
Now, are you being smart? I don't know. To me, I think, again, logically, the smart thing seems to be to sit until it feels closer to a 1 or a 0.
Yes.
That seems right.
First off, look, I don't want him to have to play with pain just as a human.
Yeah.
But beyond that, I would rather have no De'Aaron Fox, let's just say for 3 games, and have him come back at 100% than have no De'Aaron Fox for, 1 or 2 games and then he plays at 80, 85, 90% for the next 5. Like come back when you're 100%. Nobody's ever 100%,
Right,
but as close as you can.
He would know how he feels. The athletes knows like, no, I feel good today. I'm ready.
Yes.
Okay. Like if there's any doubt, no.
Well, that's the point. I just hope that he doesn't overrule any doubt and go, the team needs me. I got to get out there, blah, blah, blah. I hope he will overrule himself on that. There's never a good time for De'Aaron Fox to sit games out. It doesn't matter. But I would say if you're going to miss 3 games, these are about the 3 you want to miss. And I don't know how many times this year you're going to have Houston, Portland caliber teams all in a row that just so happen. Him sitting out the Warriors game, that hurt. That sucked. But that was the first one. Take these 3, man.
Yeah, and let's paint a doom and gloom scenario. He doesn't play for 3, and it goes terribly. They lose all 3. They can recover.
It's early enough in the season. Yeah. They can absolutely recover. We'll take a break. When we come back, the rest of the NBA, including Victor Wembanyama going off. We'll spend some time on this. We've got highlights for you and really getting a glimpse. I'm curious historically. What is the closest historical comparison to Victor Wembanyama? Does one even exist? We'll talk about that right after this.
Can the Niners build off their NFC Championship appearance from last season? How will the quarterbacks perform throughout the year?
Purdy back, now going to throw for the end zone, wide open, Brandon Ayuk is on fire!
Will the defense lead this squad again?
Intercepted! Ball got tipped up and taken by Fred Warner!
Get all your 49er coverage throughout the NFL season on Sactown Sports and Sactownsports.com.
Save on stuff you really need and stuff you bought for fun. Stuff you always really wanted this holiday at Amazon. Stuff that is discounted if you're naughty or you're nice. Stuff to buy your grandma who drinks her Chardonnay with ice. Stuff to make you big and strong. Stuff we can name in this song. Stuff for lawns and decking halls. Save big on stuff at Amazon. Stuff.
Awesome. Hey, babe, can you check the front door? My package is here.
Yeah, on it. Hey, are we still watching our show tonight?
New episode on Prime? You bet. That reminds me, let's hit Whole Foods this afternoon. We need snack supplies.
From package deliveries to entertainment and even fresh groceries, Amazon is in front of thousands of customers every single day. Learn how you can leverage their reach for your business. Text digital to 916-766-5105 now. Make the smart move. Text digital to 916-766-5105.
I was in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean when it happened. There was a sudden jolt and our submarine crashed on the seafloor. We were in total darkness.
That's Dr. Dejana Figueroa, a marine biologist and STEM teacher, talking about a deep sea dive she'll never forget.
It's funny, when I was a kid, I was afraid of the ocean, and there I was 2 miles below the surface. But as a scientist, you prepare for that. Using our training and a little creativity, we fixed the sub and finished our experiments. The dive was just too important. Every dive gives us glimpses at things few people ever get to see. Glowing creatures, fiery undersea volcanoes. When we got back to the surface, I kissed the ground and called my mom, of course. But you know what? I wouldn't trade that dive for anything.
Dr. Figueroa uses her passion for STEM to discover new things and make the world a better place. She can STEM, so can you. Check out She Can STEM for more stories and inspiration. A message from the Ad Council.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave letting you know Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room and primetime football location is back. Cap Casino giving away $500 per game in high hand bonuses for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game, offering the best food, best service, and the best action with the most variety of games in the region and conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. Check it out. Capital Casino. And as always, please remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Waking you up with the best in local sports.
They just make it interesting, you know?
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross
on Sactown Sports.
Rebound to Keldon Johnson. Lead pass comes to Sohan. He finds Wembanyama. Slam dunk. Good for Wembanyama. Outside right now to Wembanyama, 10 to shoot. Wembanyama straight away, 3 over Eubanks. That's so Wembitwa. 36 points for Victor Wembanyama. Victor Wembanyama leading the way tonight. 38 points and 10 rebounds. As the Spurs hold off the Suns, the final score from Phoenix, San Antonio 132, Phoenix 121.
Welcome back. Well, Victor Wembanyama and the Spurs did not surrender to the Suns last night. They end up beating them in Phoenix twice in less than a week. The first one was an insanely crazy comeback at the very end. The steal from Kevin Durant may have been a foul. Who knows? I think Suns fans probably believe that, but it was more fun for it to not be a foul.
Yeah.
And then last night they go in. They were up 27, I think, at one point. They disperse of the Suns in the end by 11. And Victor Wembanyama, 38 points, 10 boards, 2 assists, 1 steal, 2 blocks on 15 to 26 shooting, 34 minutes. Made half his 3-pointers, 3 of 6. This is, dare I say, what people had in mind last year and the year before. And really, I think it's been, 3 years since Victor Wembanyama has truly been on the NBA and NBA fan radar. Here we are. And in just his 5th game, he has an insanely good performance.
Yeah, you said going to break, like, is there a comp, like any kind of NBA player that, in any way, shape, or form you can compare him to? And I don't really have one. The only thing I can think of, Dave, are other people that were kind of like this in their own realm. Like when Shaq came in, he was just different.
Yeah.
The Greek Freak, Giannis, but he wasn't as dominant.
No.
Dirk Nowitzki was doing things 7-footer you just hadn't seen before. So it's players like that, but he's just so much bigger than everybody, taller than everybody, long, athletic. It's just, he's one of a kind. He's one of one.
I'm stealing from a segment we're going to do later, but that's fine. I do think there is one comp, maybe, and it's a loose one, but I think it's Wilt Chamberlain. I think this is what the league felt like when Wilt Chamberlain was playing. Now, I'm not saying he's going to score 100 points and average 50, none of that, but just a guy that is just so much bigger and his game is refined. He's hitting the guy's hitting threes, and then he's turning around and dunking from the free throw line on a putback. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. I think it's not a bad comparison by any means. I think the difference in skill level maybe from Chamberlain to the rest was so dramatic. Like, I don't think that the skill is that different, but I guess the equivalent would be like Wembanyama getting 50 and 25 every night.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
Right. But he's going to have nights like last night where you go, I don't know what you do with him.
He is really the photo negative of Steph Curry in the sense that Steph is doing things at a point guard level that is just that much different from any other point guard that there is.
But even him, it took him a while to get there.
That's exactly right. Victor Wembanyama, he's not the best player in the league.
No.
He's not putting up 50 points a game, but there is no big man comparison. I mean, I love the Dirk comparison, big 3-point shooting, 7-footers. Yao Ming, who had a lot more meat on his bones, let's be honest. But when Yao first came into the league, and remember Shaq wanted to play against him, and then the first time Shaq went up on him, he blocked his shot, and that was a big thing. Yao was, like we said about Victor Wembanyama, the only thing that stood between Yao and, in my opinion, honestly, I think Yao could have been a top 10 player, but he just was injured too much. It was just too much burden to carry on those knees, on those feet, and that's the big worry with Victor Wembanyama. It's just not natural to be that tall and that thin and put that type of beating on your joints and not have it sink in on you over time, unlike your prototypical 6'7", 230 gazelle that just moves like the wind and has a good center of gravity. That's doesn't appear to be Victor Wembanyama.
Yeah, not at all.
Some notes for you on Victor. He has 103 points, 40 boards, and 11 blocks to go with 7 steals through his first 5 NBA games. One player in NBA history has matched or exceeded all 4 of those marks in his first 5 games? Anyone want to take a guess? One player in NBA history has matched or exceeded 103 points, 40 rebounds, 11 blocks, and 7 steals through his first 5 NBA games.
Kareem.
Chris?
Shaquille
O'Neal. I'll give you guys a hint. His uniform looked really similar to Victor Wembanyama's. David Robinson.
But then, David Robinson was a rookie at what, 24?
Yeah, he went to the Naval Academy. I don't know if it was 24, but you're right in the sense that he had to go serve the rest of his time at the Naval Academy. Here's a fun one. The only Spurs rookies to put up a 35-point double-double in Spurs history, there's 3. Care to take a guess at those 3? We know Victor's one. Want to take a guess at the other 2?
Tim Duncan.
Yeah, that is correct. Good. Here's the tough one.
And
David Robinson.
You got it.
Oh. Bruce Bowen.
I know we've talked about this enough. I know it's been talked about ad nauseum. Isn't it just I don't think we spend enough time on how silly it is. And not in a bad way, just how silly it is that the Spurs got Victor Wembanyama. How silly it is. They should not have been the number 1 pick. Just like they should not have been the number 1 pick in the Duncan year. I don't think they were the favorite to get the number 1 pick in the Robinson year. Maybe they were. But the fact that the San Antonio Spurs, is it fair to say, I know Duncan is, would we if you combined all centers and power forwards of all time, do both Duncan and Robinson get in the top 10? I know
like Robinson wouldn't.
Robinson's
but he'd be 12.
Yeah, on the fringe. Duncan does.
Yeah.
And now they may very well have themselves.
I mean, if you add Duncan and what Wemby could be, you might have 2 top 5.
He's 100% right. Yeah. That you drafted and you got. And here we are. It's 5 games into the year. The Spurs are 3-2. The Suns are 2-3, by the way, but the Spurs are 3-2.
What's really stupid, in 30 games into the season, there's going to be another couple games like this where it's man, Wemby's out of control. This is ridiculous. Yeah. How is anyone going to stop him?
Is it sustainable? Is the fun? Because here we go. After 5 games, he's averaging 20.6 points, 8 boards, and 1.6 assists. And he's averaging 2 plus blocks a game. 2.2 blocks a game.
I got a question for you. Being the tank commander, were the Kings irresponsible? Were they too excited to end the quest of making the playoffs? Monty should not be GM of the year.
No.
Coach Brown should not be coach of the year.
No. They did
it. They did this wrong.
After 16 years of not making the playoffs, they decided to finally be good the year you had Victor Wembanyama.
The biggest prize of all prizes.
All right, I'll throw. Oh, you're having fun. I'm going to throw a question back at you that's going to make everybody angry. I'm just asking questions. Would you trade the entire Kings roster for Victor Wembanyama? Start over with whatever it is on his rookie contract. You have him under control, and you have all that money to go out and spend on free agents. In the long run, would you be a better team?
I'm saying no now with the right to reserve judgment on my answer. I like this squad. I like where they're going. All those things. I would love it for this all to work. I have no guarantee.
I guess let me put it a different way, because nobody's going to want to do that, including myself. I've waited too long. I love this squad. Let's go. Do you think in the long run, if you had a choice between sticking with this squad, opening yourself up for future moves, and going on the road we're going, versus San Antonio calls and says, we will give you Victor Wembanyama for everybody on your roster. You can keep Mike Brown and Monty McNair 10 years from now. Would you bet that we would have more success staying the course we are right now, or building around Victor Wembanyama from scratch?
Yeah, I mean, then it's all reliant on Victor, right? I mean, that's the thing. Yes. That's the prize. That's the guy. And back to the very first thing you said about him, this whole thing feels about health.
That's it.
So if he stays healthy, I mean, I guess you could even stretch the question to now. I guess we'll know, right? The Spurs, as of now, we assume he'll be a Spur for life. Kings have their path. I mean, Vegas, the odds right now on winning a championship are worse for the Spurs.
Yes.
But in a 10-year Like if there was a way to do that, make a 10 years worth of bets on the Kings winning a championship versus the Spurs. Odds are probably better for the Spurs in the 10-year.
I think they are. I think they
and
are.
it's just the unknown, but
Yeah.
it's the I mean, everybody gets excited about potential.
Well, since we're doing hypotheticals just for fun sports talk radio here, I will tell you this. I wouldn't say it's a no-brainer because I'm emotionally attached to this team, but I would tell you this. If again, since these are hypotheticals that won't happen, let's add in another hypothetical, which would be our good friend, the ghost of basketball future, coming back and saying over the next 10 years, Victor Wembanyama is going to average 70 games a year. Just don't worry about it. Not saying he won't ever get injured.
Right.
He's gonna average 70 games, hell, 65 games a year. So he'll be eligible for all the awards. Then I would.
Yeah.
If you told me he was going to be healthy, I would 100%.
Yeah. How many teams would say no to that?
Right. I don't know if many, but I mean, I guess let's do this exercise. If 2003, LeBron's just starting, we're all enamored. Like, wow. If you have the next 10 years of him as a Cleveland Cavalier, now the problem was he didn't spend 10 years.
That's
now
right.
he got his title later
That's right.
in Cleveland, but that first run through, I mean, does Victor Wembanyama, I don't know, like all of us always fear, like, oh, De'Aaron Fox is going to go to New York. He's going to go to L.A.
Absolutely.
I mean,
absolutely.
That's very much in play.
Oh, for sure.
Right?
That was my next question was going to be, does Victor Wembanyama win his first title with the Spurs or the Lakers?
Don't say that.
You know it's going to happen. Says the guy that just watched David Robinson and Tim Duncan play their entire careers for the Spurs. That was a different world.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Is he a system?
He is a solar system is what he is. We'll take a break. More NBA. James Harden speaks. Speaking of the system, Joel Embiid responds. And let's talk about surprises, good and bad, in the NBA before we get to 3 for Madness. Don't forget Dave Richard with your fantasy football help coming up at 7:27. As always, the voice of the San Francisco No Greg Papa this week. It's a bye, right? Or do we have Greg Papa?
Yeah, Greg Papa.
Do we have Greg Papa? I can't remember if we gave him the bye week off or not.
He's got to work.
He's got to work. Okay, so there's that and more. We'll do all that right after this.
Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa every week on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. It's the Golf to Go Hour every week with Frank LaRosa on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $20. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
It's that time of year. The kids are back in school, and it won't be long before they're bringing home more than just homework. Colds, flu, and viruses are making their rounds, along with miserable seasonal allergies. I'm Martin Hoke, and I invented Navage, the nose cleaner with powered suction. Navage pulls saline in one nostril, around the back of the nose, and out the other nostril, flushing out allergens, mucus, and germs. Navage helps provide natural, immediate relief. Listen to the words of Michelle, a verified Navage user. I've had problems for as long as I can remember and finally found this wonderful product. What a difference it has made. I am so excited about this. I tell everyone, thank you, unquote. This cold and flu season, join nearly 4 million people and experience how Navage can help you breathe better, snore less, and feel healthier without drugs. Navage is available at Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, and Navage.com. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E, clean nose, healthy life.
Hello, I'm Frank Cockrell, the Retirement Security Centers with a weekly economic update. The Federal Reserve determined to keep the discount rate the same for the second consecutive meeting. Raising rates once more is still a possibility when they meet in December to remain vigilant in their fight against inflation. One of the biggest drivers of recent inflation is wages. Wage growth has averaged 4.6% over the past 12 months. With unemployment still under 4%, this could be a persistent issue. Some positives due to inflation are retirement plan contribution increases and tax bracket relief in 2024. Standard contributions to 401k and 403b accounts have increased to $23,000. $100,000 with a catch-up option of $7,500 for those 50 and older. IRA and Roth limits are raised to $7,000 with an additional $1,000 eligible for those 50 and older. Federal tax filers will see an increase in the amount of adjusted gross income earned to be able to stay in the same tax bracket. Adjusted gross income is your income after deductions. How might this affect you or your family? Please go to frankontheradio.com to schedule an appointment, watch videos, and receive market updates. I'm ready to help you start your journey so you can define your future.
Frank Cockrell is a registered representative of Lincoln Financial Advisors Corporation, a broker-dealer and member SIPC and registered investment advisor. Retirement Security Centers is not an affiliate of Lincoln Financial Advisors.
With over 100 years as a family-owned company, EB Stone's learned a few things about making plants grow. Start a healthy family hobby with indoor planting with EB Stone's Edna's Best Indoor and Outdoor Potting Soil to help your little plants grow into the perfect indoor plant for the kids and family to enjoy. EB Stone's Indoor and Outdoor Potting Soil is perfectly blended with all the important ingredients you need to create that perfect indoor and outdoor plant or garden. EB Stone, for the life of your garden. Visit ebstone.org for more gardening tips, products, and locations near you.
We're going abroad for the first time in years, to Spain. So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language in just 3 weeks.
¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas?
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, your home for the Oakland A's every weekend.
And it's swung on line to left center, base hit, and the A's have won it on a walk-off line drive, base hit to left center.
Sactown Sports. Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Christopher Lott with your Sactown Sports headlines. Week 9 of the NFL kicked off last night with the Pittsburgh Steelers beating the Tennessee Titans 20-16. Titans rookie quarterback Will Levis didn't have quite the game that he had in his first start. He was 22 of 39, throwing for 262 yards, no touchdowns, and 1 interception. The Sacramento Kings are on the road as they take on the Houston Rockets. De'Aaron Fox missed the last game with a sprained ankle, but the Athletics' Shams Charania reported yesterday that he could play as soon as Saturday or Monday for the Kings. You can listen to Saturday's game right here on Sactown Sports. Reminder, all guests come to you via the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Those are your headlines. Now let's get back to the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
The Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone, and then boom.
With Jason Ross.
No, he didn't. Yes, he did.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sactown Sports.
Wow, we already get through an hour?
We did. Look at us.
Yeah, we never want you to give anything away. We always want you to hold things close to the vest. But are you excited about Friday Fun and Games?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I am too.
Okay.
Marks the end of the week. Always go out laughing. So make sure to tune into that later on in the program. One of these days we'll have to have the video guys just, what if they compiled just like a 2-hour video of all of our Friday Fun and Games? Just put that out.
And it's just you going,
Famous bear. Fozzie. I think that was
that
one of your
is a
shining moments.
famous bear.
It is a famous bear.
Or type of bear.
That is a type of bear.
Yeah.
You said Fozzie. And then I think it was my favorite one of that same episode was when I asked you on the feud, what type of job?
Oh, it was feud?
Yeah. What type of job? I think is, can you be ugly and make a lot of money or something like that, or the perception? You're like, oh, sports radio. And then you didn't say that. And that was number one. And then you said puppeteer. Like, how many puppeteers does Dave know? And why did that come up?
Not only do you think puppeteer, but many people will also agree with the idea that's puppeteer.
Yeah, it's a very popular
out of 100
answer.
surveyed, you're like, yeah, at least one will say it.
The problem is that I have a hard time with the, like,
you're under pressure.
Yeah, I have a hard time. I'm good at the give me an example, I'm not good at give me an example that other people might also think of because of the
Your
wasteland
randomness,
that is my brain. Speaking of randomness, that is his brain. Russell Westbrook was asked about meshing with James Harden.
As somebody obviously who knows the Clippers very well and somebody who knows James very well, how well do you think this all is going to come together?
It's going to be a process.
What do you think it's going to take for the entire group, including yourself, to get through the process? Well,
Give it a break, y'all. It'll be a process. Like I don't have the answer. I don't predict the future. I don't know what's going to happen. Like I don't know, bro. But it's going to be a process. It's going to be ups and downs. It's going to be good games, bad games. It's not just going to come together and mesh and we're going to be perfectly fine. That's unrealistic expectations for everybody.
I found that
good answer.
But I found that very interesting. I found that thought very interesting because I think it underscores the power of tone and context. I'm going to read that quote to you again, Jason. Russell Westbrook was asked about meshing with James Harden, and he responded, "Give it a break. It'll be a process. I don't have the answer. I don't predict the future. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know. There's going to be ups and downs. There's going to be good games and bad games. It's not going to come together and mesh, and we're going to be perfectly fine. That's unrealistic expectations. The realistic expectation is going to be a process. I don't have an answer for what that is." I think tone completely changes that answer because I first read that answer in print. And I was like, oh, that's just Russ being a D-bag. It was the exact opposite. It was him laughing and saying, guys, I don't know. Like, and then he
can't predict the future.
I can't predict the future. And he gave a very, I agree with you. I think he gave a very good, very honest answer.
But he will be the first one who might have a snarky answer of, hey, he's a system. Ask him.
Billion, trillion, jillion %. This thing is heading. Remember when the Sixer trade happened and they acquired James Harden, and I wasn't too happy with Daryl Morey over that whole thing? Okay, take that feeling I had and multiply it times 5. How I feel about this Clippers. Like this is just to be clear to everybody. This is a garbage fire that is like right now. Like James Harden got traded to the Clippers, and that was pouring a can of gasoline on a big trash can.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, like, what is the little thing in the cartoons where you light the little thing and it goes all the way to the dynamo? That fuse. Thank you.
It's only in cartoons.
That's the only way it happens is in cartoons. The fuse has been lit, like, and it's just slowly going. Or maybe it's James Harden with the what's the thing that looks like with the handles and you push it down and it booms the dynamite.
The bellow. Oh, no, you're the plunger.
The plunge. Is that what it's called? What's a bellow?
That's like the thing that blows the air.
That's well done, but that's really good fire knowledge, Chris.
Did not know that was a bellow.
Didn't know it was a bellow either. The maybe he's holding the plunger for the dynamite. Maybe he's the one that lit the fuse. But Russell Westbrook combined with James Harden, Kawhi Leonard just gonna whatever. And Paul can be a little snarky at times. He knows what he's doing. This is a bad thing waiting to happen, dude.
I got to ask Chris. Chris, is the plunger what you want for the beam, or is that a lever?
No, I want a lever.
Okay, that
Not
goes
a
what?
plunger.
Not a plunger. The lever goes.
Yeah. I think you were out of town. Maybe. Your thoughts on the initial home beam lighting ceremony?
Once again, I don't like the button, but I did like the idea of it starts at center court.
Yeah.
And the light comes up from there.
What was it? Just me on TV, or did it look like it didn't work right? Like the light going? Did the light go all the way to the ceiling?
I don't.
I feel
know.
like it kind of just went up.
I felt like it got interrupted.
I think you're gonna need you're really gonna need to smoke it up to see it go all the way up.
A little bit like the yellow line for first down in football. Like it's clear as can be,
right?
But then sometimes if someone's standing,
Stands
like it gets
there
a little interrupted, and it's just like
they have to clear it out a little bit. James Harden is not a system player. He is the system.
When I'm in a leash, I'm not meant just shooting the basketball every time. I mean, like I think the game, and I'm a creator on the court. You know what I mean? So if I got a voice to where I can, hey coach, I see this. What you think about this? Then it's like, oh, okay. Like somebody that trusts me, that believes in me, that understands me, that I'm just not a You know, I'm not a system player. I am a system. You know what I mean? So somebody that can have that dialogue with me and understand and move forward and figure out and make adjustments on the fly throughout the course of games, that's all I really care about. You know what I mean? It's not about me scoring a basketball, scoring 30, 34 points. I've done it already. So that's what I meant by that.
Let me ask you this, Dave. I think if you are James Harden and had the amount of success that he did, now I'm trying to interpret his quote. I think he is thinking of the time in his career when he played for Mike D'Antoni, who Mike D'Antoni basically not let him go, but look, the best chance for the Rockets to win is this to center around James Harden.
Yeah.
He won an MVP. They won a ton of games. They got to the Western Conference Finals, a game away from the finals. That's the best part of his career. I don't think Doc Rivers a Joel Embiid.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I want you to be good, but you got to be good with him.
Right.
Now he's on a team with 3 other players that have had a career about as good as his. He's got to adjust. He's not in the Rockets' Mike D'Antoni system anymore, which was his system.
He is a system.
I don't think he's wrong. I think he can be portrayed that way.
100% correct.
Yeah, but he's not going to be that guy now.
So you go Russ at the 1.
Or Russ off the bench, maybe, and James at the 1.
Honest to goodness, that's probably the best way to go. You start James, and then you have Russ lead like hockey subs, like
the Lakers tried to do.
He's got a second line, and you have 2 semi-similar. Obviously James is a far better shooter, but when it comes to guards that can rebound and dish, Russ is right there with James. So you have semi-similar players always on the floor, one or the other. I don't know how they coexist. And really, Paul George and Kawhi Leonard are the I would say least dramatic of the 4. I'm really wondering how Russ and James coexist. And I got to think, if there's a power struggle, James Harden's going to win that power struggle over Russell Westbrook. But you've got their own relationship. And oh, by the way, the idea that Russell Westbrook is washed at 34 years old, say what you want. Russell Westbrook so far this year is averaging 15 points, 8 boards, 7 assists on 51.5% shooting. He's having a very, very not just good, but efficient year. Oh, by the way, over 2 steals a game. He's having an incredibly, I don't know that you want to necessarily screw with that too much. And they think that James Harden's going to augment it like a seasoning, but it's like, I think in the end, James Harden's ketchup on a steak. That it's very unnecessary and takes away from the dish. I think that's what it's going to end up being. Meanwhile, the Clippers are 3-2. They had the 1 loss to the Lakers. They also lost in Utah. What's that like? I don't know what that's like. Do people lose in Utah? I don't know. By 2. I don't know that the Clippers really have, the Spurs win looks a lot better right now, but that was the 3rd game of the year. And they won that by 40. Their wins this year, Jason, are the Magic, the Spurs, and the Blazers. They've lost at the Lakers and at the Jazz.
Yeah.
I think the Knicks coming up, they don't play again until the 6th. I think the Knicks are the first team that they've played that's really not elite but not terrible. Sort of a middle of the road team will be interesting, and they're on the road for that at Madison Square Garden. I don't know what the Clippers are yet.
Yeah, and I feel for a guy like Ty Lue. I mean, he's got to manage this team, this roster, these egos. That's going to be a big challenge for them.
One other note, bigger surprise to you. Memphis is 0-5, but Miami's 1-4. Which one surprises you more? And just by the way, for context, Nets, Bucks, Timberwolves, Celtics. So it's kind of the opposite of the Clippers. Those are the 4 losses for Miami, and everything really, you could argue the Nets are the worst loss there, but at Milwaukee, at Minnesota, at Boston, their 1 win was a 1-point victory over the Pistons on opening night at home.
I'd still say the Grizzlies, believe it or not. I mean, because I know they've won without Ja before. I think it's probably the totality of all the people that are out, but that's an organization that's done a good bit of winning over the years, and I just feel like it's in their DNA and their culture, and the fact that just 0-5 is a tough beginning for them. So that one surprised me.
Doesn't this just kind of seem normal for Miami?
Mm-hmm. And they just kind of regroup, and by the end, you're like, hey, here they are again.
They're just screwing around. In retrospect, or just for notes here, Milwaukee, Phoenix, and Miami are combined 5-9.
That is a little surprising.
That is very surprising to me. We'll take a break. Dallas and Boston.
Only two.
Only two undefeated. Yeah. We all had Dallas as undefeated.
I did not.
When we come back, 3 for Madness brought to you by Fire Wings. I am a system, says James Harden. Victor Wembanyama and the World Series ratings are in. We have a couple extra notes for you. We'll get to all that next.
Last season, the Sacramento Kings gave us a little bit of everything. A Pacific Division type, GM of the Year, Coach of the Year, Clutch Player of the Year, All-Stars and All-NBA performers. Plus, we got to light the beam.
Here's a steal by Fox, the breakaway. He's got the rip with the left hand.
What does this season have in store? Find out. Each and every Sacramento Kings game can be heard right here on your proud home of the Beam team, Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave letting you know Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room and primetime football location is back. Cap Casino giving away $500 per game in high hand bonuses for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game, offering the best food, best service, and the best action with the most variety of games in the region and conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. Check it out. Capital Casino. And as always, please remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
For 35 years, TruckSmart has been your local leader in truck accessories. Find racks, toolboxes, and lighting for your work truck, and trailer hitches, side steps, and bed covers for recreation. They have shells for work or play, and offer Rhino lining, the best bed protection in the business. You like overlanding? TruckSmart has rooftop tents, recovery gear, and heavy-duty bumpers. Trust your ride to their skilled installers and expert sales staff at the Rockland and Auburn locations. TruckSmart. Your truck's gonna love them. Trucksmart.com.
3 questions, 3 answers. It's 3 for Madness on the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Here's question 1.
916-339-1140 is the text line. Get your questions for Dave Richard coming up in just 11 minutes to help you with your fantasy football. You know, they say this is where championships are won.
Week 9?
Yeah, week 9. Actually, I was going through some old The Champ videos yesterday.
Some good stuff.
Some good nostalgia.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was showing
favorites.
The one I like the one where Sonya presents the championship belt. That was great. I showed her that clip, and she asked, "Is the champ ever coming back?" Will there
never left.
Yeah. Will there be a return of the champ?
Maybe.
Stay tuned for that. Ask your questions there also on YouTube, or you can call us at 1-800-920-1140. In the meantime, 3 for Madness brought to you by Fire Wings. Now with pizza. Fire Wings, just wing it or just crust it. I don't know. We'll work on that. Question 1, Chris Lott.
Is I'm not a system player, I am a system going to be an all-time quote?
I think so. I don't think it's going to be practice or let's crown them or all that, but I think that's a quote that's going to stick with James Harden forever. I think he was, I'm not the most knowledgeable guy here, but I want to say he was riffing on the I'm not a businessman, I'm a businessman. I think that was Jay-Z that said that. I want to
Good job.
Thank you. I don't think that was I think that might have been at least in the back of his head. It's a great quote. We talked about it at the beginning of the show. I love the quote because I think I think James Harden encapsulated himself and his career better than I or anyone else could have. He is not a system player. He is a system. He is a system and all the other players are orbiting planets. The problem is he's a dying system in the sense that he's on the other end of his career. He's not the James Harden he used to be. And oh, by the way, when he was at the peak of his powers, I'm willing to admit that they were likely a Chris Paul hamstring injury away from at least making the finals, but it's just not a title winning, at least thus far, system in itself, but there we are.
Yeah. I think it has to either, you brought it up earlier, like maybe get made fun of or poked at or replayed multiple times to really get in our vernacular, right? I mean, I think, that's a clown question, bro. Like some of those things just can stick around and will be here forever. It has potential to be, though. It really does.
Clown question, bro, that is
Where like you and I could just like say it here, just goofing out, like off air, just like, that's a clown question, bro.
Mm-hmm.
And we know what we're referencing, and it just lives in infamy.
I wonder if anybody's ever written that article, because that would be a good, playoffs.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to have a best compiled list of all-time great make funnable athlete quotes. Number 2, please.
Question 2.
Victor Wembanyama had a very early career game last night. Is this what people felt like when they first saw Wilt Chamberlain?
Fire wings, now with pizza. Crust the process. That's from Matthew on the YouTube chat. And I honestly, I think crust the process is somebody should pay him for that, because I'm 100% stealing that.
In their pizza?
Mm-hmm.
Did they cut it in 21 slices?
21 different slices. Fire wings, crust the process. That's just fantastic. We talked earlier about Victor Wembanyama and a historical comparison. I brought up Wilt Chamberlain just in the sense, and again,
yeah,
there's not an exact comparison, but in the sense that it just, you looked up at the things that Wilt, and that was way before yours, my time, but you looked at the things he did and the way he did them. It was just so unlike anybody else on the floor. Now, as you brought up, and rightfully so, the differential between Victor Wembanyama and everyone else is not that. He's not even the best player in the league right now. He's not a top 10 player in the league right now. I mean, I'm talking after game 5. Let me ask you this, Jason, because we did kind of talk about this earlier. Here's a Wembanyama question. If you had to bet, is he an all-star this year?
I think the league's going to really want him to be.
Is Victor Wembanyama going to cost Domantas Sabonis an all-star bid?
It could cost somebody, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Could, but I mean, again, you look at before last night, it's not like he's played poorly at all, but he's had more, games in the teens and kind of the feeling out process of the league and figuring out his role. And, he's averaging 20 points per game, but 38 will help you through 5 games. But he's had a couple 16s to start the year, which is fine. Nothing wrong with it.
Fine.
Making his way to his career.
Victor Wembanyama. Get those rookie cards today.
Yes, that's for sure.
Cut number 3, please.
Question 3.
This was the lowest watched World Series ever. Safer out. Baseball has really done most of the changing it can.
I just wanted to throw back a safer out question there. I think safe when it comes to the game. They need to market it differently. That's the problem. Is if I'm Rob Manfred, first off, I slap myself. And then after that, then I tell the A's they can't move. And then after that, I go to the NBA and I find out who's in charge of their social media and who their top social media folks are. And I find out what they're making. And I triple it.
Yeah.
What are they making? 100 grand, 200 grand? At the tops, 300 grand for like the top guy, girl. You think that's not worth $900K, $1 million to the to baseball? Because that's, as silly as it sounds, that is such a huge. It's just the reality. TikTok and Instagram and YouTube, and not that they're not doing it, but just their rules about using highlights, and basketball has House of Highlights and 90 other different houses of highlights that they use. The video game, MLB The Show, is very, very popular. Maybe not 2K popular, but very popular. And I'm talking about ways to get the younger crowd interested in this whole thing. I think they've done everything on that side. But just to kind of illustrate the issue before, and I hate this, every time this comes up, there's some 50, 60-year-old dude who's like, everybody's saying baseball is dead forever. You just don't. I love baseball. It was my first love. Shut it. I want baseball to improve. But the reality of the situation is that the World Series just averaged 9 million viewers. Roger Goodell reads the names of players that have never played it down in the sport, and it drew 12 million viewers last year. I'm talking about the NFL draft. For those of you, this will hit some people at home. The World Series Game 1, 9.1 million viewers. LSU, Iowa, women's college basketball, 9.9 million viewers. Dude, not great.
Yeah, it is a marketing problem. We talked a lot during the year about baseball, how many good players they have right now. There's so many good players.
Yeah.
And I think what they started to market a little bit, I think the people that even remotely follow baseball probably know Aaron Judge, Mookie Betts, names like that. Okay, then if you dig a little deeper, here's this Ellie De La Cruz guy. Here's Julio Rodriguez. Hey, Ronald Acuna.
O'Neal
Cruz. O'Neal. We're just getting some more names.
Yes.
None of those guys made it. So then what? You got to promote Simeon and Seager and Adolis Garcia and Corbin Carroll and all of the people from every team to get people excited if the Rangers make the Diamondbacks. Now, I think they get the most difficult matchup maybe they could have of the playoff field, but that shouldn't matter. I mean, if you have a Super Bowl that has Jacksonville and Detroit, it's still, I mean, people are like, I wanted Pittsburgh. I wanted the Niners. I wanted the Cowboys. It's going to be watched.
Yeah, it's going to be the most watched show of the year. Give me some of those names off the top of your head you gave me again, by the way.
Like Morris. Oh, the younger ones?
Yeah, the younger ones.
Julio Rodriguez. Who did I say?
You said Acuna, De La Cruz.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Shohei, by the way, who still I don't think has been hyped enough.
So if I were to give you players that are just a list of players, and this isn't all encompassing, but just a list of players that are the most spectacular, up there with the must watch when they're healthy. No order. Adolis Garcia, O'Neal Cruz, Ronald Acuna Jr., Ellie De La Cruz, Tatis Jr., Rodriguez, Ohtani. Any commonalities you guys find in the names I just gave?
Mm-hmm.
What?
They're not from America.
They're not from America. They're not. I believe none of them are Caucasian, and that was a huge problem, and still is a huge problem with baseball. Is the mayonnaising of the sport, about it not being accessible, being a privileged sport. It's there now. Don't get me wrong; they still have roads to go down, but you're seeing people of color. You're seeing people, which wasn't really as much of an issue. It's more of your inner cities and people of color, but also the Latino communities, whether it's the DR, Venezuela, you have Japan in there now, and not just Ohtani, but there's the other pitcher coming over. I forget his name that the Giants are hot on, and you have people of color that are young and exciting and carrying the sport. If you combine that with the right marketing, social media, etc., you have some of the ingredients here to begin reaching younger generations and reaching more diverse members of our community, and they're sitting on it right now.
Yeah.
I don't know that there's ever been a better time when you just look at the numbers in baseball history, and if there has, it's Bonds and Sosa basically and friends, but they're in a really good spot. They could be in a very good spot right now. The problem is when we just went through this list of young and exciting leaders, all of which are of color, and of course we can find some Caucasian folk to throw in there. But I'll bet you that rainbow of diversity we just laid out. Now let's look at the Major League Baseball corporate front offices.
Yeah.
I just have a feeling.
Yeah.
Not quite as diverse.
Right.
And I'm not making a joke when I say you've got to mix that up, not because you're required to, not because of a quota, not because you're woke or whatever stupid name you want to put on it. Dude, reflect the audience you want. Get some people in there that are young. Get some people in there that are of color. Get some people in there that speak all the languages that can throw that out there and really market it the way it is instead of marketing it to you and me.
Right.
They have you and me.
Right.
They have you and me, and they have my dad.
Also, maybe push the stupid idea of these unwritten rules.
Oh, God.
That just make the game boring.
Do they make the game boring?
Yeah.
Do they make it? We're on the same page with the unwritten rules. I just don't know if I take it, because every time somebody breaks an unwritten rule and it's enforced, we talk about it for 5 days.
Yeah, but what are the chances that it happens again? Are you going to pimp your home run again if you know that you're going to get hit? Are you going to toss your bat if you know you're going to get hit?
Hopefully more.
Yeah, that's what I hope so. Joey Bats, he didn't have a problem with that. We'll take a break. When we return, Dave Richard will join us, CBS Sports Fantasy Football, and I'm going to ask him 21 questions. 21, can you do something for me? 21. See, I know modern music. It's Drake. Fire Wings. Just wing it. Trust the process now with their new pizza. Ford Road location right now, soon to be, I would imagine, at all locations. I've heard nothing but wonderful things about Fire Wings new pizza. But don't forget, they're bread and butter, if you will. Well, it's not bread and butter, it's chicken. But it's their chicken wings, 21 different flavors to choose from. Fire Wings has been a proud partner of ours and vice versa for years and years and years now. One of the reasons I'm so proud of it, locally owned, locally operated, and really, they're the best chicken wings consistently I've ever had. Now, are there better chicken wings that exist on Earth? I don't know. I'd say probably. I've never had them, and I've eaten a lot of chicken wings in a lot of different places. I would also say that the diversity, if you will, of the flavors also is something you're not going to find at most of your chicken wing spots. Bone in, boneless. It's Friday. Don't cook. Go to firewings.com right now. Make your order. And pick it up whenever you want. Just put the time in, 4:45, 5:45, 6:30, whatever. Just go in there, show them the card that you paid for everything with, and walk out with your big bag of Fire Wings. Firewings.com, find the location nearest you. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you. Fire Wings. Just wing it. When we come back, Dave Richards, CBS Sports.
Last season, the Sacramento Kings gave us a little bit of everything. A Pacific Division type, GM of the Year, Coach of the Year, Clutch Player of the Year, All-Stars and All-NBA performers. Plus, we got to light the beam.
Here's a steal by Fox, the breakaway. He's got the rip with the left hand.
What does this season have in store? Find out. Each and every Sacramento Kings game can be heard right here on your proud home of the Beam Team, Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Hey guys, do you know what makes Revive Men's Health Sacramento different? You. Every Revive treatment and medication is personalized just for you. Revive has the experts that guys go to when their current treatment isn't working. They have a complicated medical condition, or they're just not happy with their daily performance. Since 2011, they've helped thousands of local men suffering with the symptoms of low T and ED. Their goal is simple: to get to the bottom of your issues and fix them. Your best performance requires more than generic ED medications or a low-dose testosterone booster at a low-ball price like you find online. Revive medications are custom compounded, affordable, and guaranteed to resolve your issues. Stop dealing with the symptoms of low T or ED. Book your free T-check and exam and save $199 today. Call 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit us at ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
It's time to trade in and trade up at Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings. Plus, get top dollar for your trade. Come in today or go to StocktonHonda.com. It's all a click away.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
#1 claim based on 2022 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company's own loan report.
Are you ready to go back to the summer of '99? Free is back. Summer of '99 tour. For the first time in more than a decade, with very special guests. 3 Doors Down. Plus Finger 11. September 1st, Toyota Amphitheater. Tickets on sale Friday at 10 a.m. at LiveNation.com as part of the Hard Rock Sacramento Concert Series.
They bleed black and purple. It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on your local sports leader, Sactown Sports.
Welcome back. The NBA has just announced that with the debut of the in-season tournament tonight. Boy, am I excited. LL Cool J and the Roots are collaborating or have collaborated on a song for the NBA's in-season tournament anthem. Now, it's funny that we just got done talking about baseball and how terrible they are at marketing things. And then in the very next breath, the NBA sends out an all-hands email to the press that shows exactly how to market things. So the Roots and LL Cool J have decided to reimagine a song and use it for the in-season tournament anthem. It's a song you may be familiar with from back in the day called Mama Said Knock You Out. That is an all-time classic.
Well done.
They are reimagining it. I imagine anything LL Cool J and the Roots do is going to be very good.
Yeah.
So you just hit multiple generations with that.
Just don't call it a comeback.
Don't call it a comeback.
It's been here for years.
It's been here for many, many, many years, much like Dave Richard has been on the show for many, many years. He doesn't need a comeback because he never went anywhere. And someday I wish he would go back to Cali, but he doesn't think so.
I don't think so.
Dave Richard, good morning.
You stole my line. I was going to say, man, I don't think so.
I should have. You're right. I should have relied on you. I should have trusted the process.
I get it. And listen, you've been at this a long time. You're a superstar in your own right. In fact, if we were to speak about the big time superstar of this show, would we refer to him as Jason Boss?
Jason Ross, the boss. That's absolutely right. That is a 5-week streak.
Or more than that.
More
every
than
week.
that.
Yeah.
Dave Richard has with phenomenal
It's
punts.
been every week this year, you knucklehead. You're not paying attention.
We're in week 9. You know what? You nailed it. You know why? Because I'm not a system player. I am a system. Me and James Arden.
Yeah.
Just real quick, we usually talk specifically about fantasy football, and I guess this can tie in. I'm sure you watched last night's game. Is there any chance? And I respect both coaches a lot, especially Mike Tomlin, who's my favorite coach in the league. But did that just seem like a dumb off between two dumb teams dumbing their way through the dumb bowl? Because I just specifically speaking, the third down call on the second to last drive for the Titans, I think it was 3rd and 8 or something, and they decided to run.
And they ran it.
Yeah, dude. And then give it to your rookie in a second game to throw just a 40-yard shot down the field to try to catch him off guard. I don't know, dude. That whole game just seemed like two crap teams trying to out-crap each other.
No, I think that the Titans probably have a little bit more of that dumminess cologne on than the Steelers do. I mean, you said it yourself, Tomlin's a great coach, has been doing it a long time.
Yeah.
Usually he's pretty savvy, but you'd think he'd do a better job of coaching up his players to not commit penalties that keep drives alive for the Titans and for Will Levis in general. But yeah, some head-scratching play calls for Tennessee for sure. It can't be a dumb off without Josh McDaniels being involved.
That's true.
And so I can't say that was the dumb off dumb bowl of all time, but it was kind of up there. Maybe it's a top 10 dumb bowl for the year.
Well, let's go there. Josh McDaniels is out. Changes for Las Vegas. I don't know what that does fantasy wise. We all know Adams can play, but Aiden O'Connell goes in. Adams probably wants the ball more and should get the ball more. Any benefit to this for anybody that has Jacobs, Adams, or any other Raider on their fantasy team?
So I'm not privy to what the Raiders are going to do with their offense. I can only take an educated guess.
Okay.
And yeah, I know, it's shocking. And the educated guess, and this is based on years and years of watching teams fire coaches at mid-season or at any point in the season. When the interim coach comes in, there's like a 1-game honeymoon where the team rallies big time and they come away with a win. And so I would imagine that the Raiders are going to simplify what they do on offense. Lean on Josh Jacobs, and we've seen Aiden O'Connell lean heavily on Josh Jacobs in the time that he's played this year. A lot of check down passes, a lot of short passes, and then feed your beast. Give Devontae Adams the targets he needs to go out there and play amazing. And so I think those two players are real safe for fantasy this week. I've got them top 5 at their respective positions. And, must-start guys, and they're basically must-start guys anyway. But I have high expectations for them. The one that I'm nervous about is Jacoby Myers. On 59 dropbacks for Aiden O'Connell, Myers has had 6 targets. Now, he's had a touchdown amongst them, but it was in a garbage time against Chicago. That wasn't a game that Aiden O'Connell even started. So there is some trepidation in using him, but he's still even a number 3 receiver. I don't expect him to vanish. He's not going to vaporize in front of our eyes and not be, he's not going to turn into George Pickens last night, but he's also not going to be the stellar target getter that he was with Garoppolo. You could tell that Garoppolo kind of had some favoritism for Jacoby Myers.
Now, let me ask you this with the whole changeover and all that. If you're somebody who's desperate for a receiver, they're playing the Giants this weekend. I imagine he's going to be improved, but is Hunter Renfrow worth even a look for desperate people?
He's not even worth us discussing. Maybe that's part of their game plan too, is to get him back more involved in the offense. And I would imagine that would be really bad for Jacoby Myers. But I can't recommend starting him against the Giants. And there's one other thing that we should bring up. The Giants have one of the most aggressive defenses in the league. They blitz like crazy. Their secondary has played well over the last couple of weeks. I do worry a little bit about how Myers and Renfrow will play. Maybe you start Renfrow if you're just absolutely desperate as a bye-week replacement at receiver.
Dave, for a game itself, Dolphins-Chiefs is awesome, but fantasy-wise, it seems like there's plays all over that game. What do you like about the matchup there?
I think there's just a lot of obvious plays. And so you can name Mahomes, Kelsey, Tua, Tyreek, Waddle, Mostert. Those guys are obvious. You're going to start them. And I think most people are going to start Isaiah Pacheco too. I'm starting to come around on him. I began the week thinking, I don't know if he's going to be that good. I went back and I looked at how Vic Fangio defended Patrick Mahomes when Fangio was the head coach at Denver. A lot of zone coverage, a lot of daring the Chiefs to run the ball, not a lot of huge games for Patrick Mahomes. And Fangio is not only the defensive coordinator for the Dolphins, but that Dolphins defense is probably better than anything that Fangio had to work with when he was in Denver. Their secondary, at least on paper, Jalen Ramsey, Xavier Howard expected back, Kader Kahu in the slot. These are good players. Javon Holland at safety. I worry a little bit about the upside for Rashee Rice, for example. I don't think that he's a top 35 type of receiver. I think this is a good week to sit him. And I think Pacheco, if the defense plays the way I think that they will, he's going to get some extended opportunities. Might be good enough to go with just for his yardage. Maybe he totals 80 yards in the game. So I like him. And then I'm thinking about other Dolphins players. No, I don't think anybody's starting Durham Smythe or Cedric Wilson in that one. The defenses. I'm kind of intrigued by the Dolphins defense, but I can't recommend them either because you know what the upside is of the Chiefs.
But if you have Tua, you have Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Raheem Mostert.
Yeah, there must.
And I know individually, but I'm saying like somebody out there, let's say they've got all four and two have been, are you starting all of them? Are you starting every major Dolphin you have this weekend?
I think it makes perfect sense to do it. And I know that the Chiefs defense has been great. They really didn't play great last week. And I know the Dolphins, they've been in some matchups against really good teams and they've struggled. I just get the sense that the Dolphins will be ready to go for this game.
Dave, how about the amount of new quarterbacks that are going to be playing out of changes, injury, anybody worthwhile between, let's see, Las Vegas, we mentioned, Arizona, Minnesota, Atlanta, maybe even the Giants. Like, is there anybody there that if someone hasn't picked him up might be worth a shot?
Well, I'm a bad person to ask this to because I was on the Will Levis bandwagon. I had him as a sleeper this week. Not quite top 12, but really, really close to top 12. The quarterbacks that I would recommend are Sam Howell, Derek Carr, Baker Mayfield, and Gardner Minshew. And I know you didn't ask about those quarterbacks, but I think those guys are safe. I think you can pencil them in for like 17 fantasy points, and they've got a shot to get even 20 fantasy points. Of the teams that you named, Heineke has some upside, but I can't stand his matchup. I think the Vikings defense is really good, and that could end up being an ugly game, not a dumb game, but an ugly game between those two teams. Let me say this. I think Jaron Hall is going to be good enough to help support TJ Hawkinson and Jordan Addison this week. He's going to be the starter, at least to begin the game. I would imagine he's got a chance to play the whole game. This is the Falcons defense that looked horrible against Will Levis a week ago. Not that Hall is a downfield bomber. He's much more of a short area passer. That's what we saw at BYU. And I think he's got enough in him to lean on, like I said, Addison, Hawkinson. And the Vikings don't have a great run game. And that's going to be where the Falcons are going to key in on them. So I would imagine that the receivers will be fine, but the quarterbacks, you'd have to be really desperate to start a Jaron Hall, a Brett Rippon, even O'Connell. Can't feel good about him, and definitely not Clayton Tune with the Cardinals.
Dave Richard joining us real quick, lightning round here. Jalen Hurts or Tua Tagovailoa?
I've got Hurts over Tua Tagovailoa, but they're both top 5.
Running backs, you can start 2, Mostert, Kareem Hunt, Kenneth Walker III.
I'm going to sit Hunt of that group as long as we know that Jerome Ford is going to play, and it looks like he will. If Ford doesn't play, Hunt would probably vault probably toward the middle of that group. I'd go with Mostert over him still.
Okay. Also, Christian Watson. This is from our text line from the 209. I don't have context for you as far as who else they have, but the question is, Christian Watson, all his predictions always look nice. He never reaches them. Should I start sitting him?
You should start sitting him. I've got him outside of my top 36. I like who might be out there that you might be able to get. Jahan Dotson, I'm kind of buying into against New England if Curtis Samuel doesn't play for Washington. Josh Palmer with the Chargers, he's not really out there. Demario Douglas could be the number one receiver for the Patriots against a Commanders defense that's not going to be very good. I would start those guys over Watson. I still think that Watson has upside to be an okay fantasy receiver, but Jordan Love has had so many near misses this year that it's not coincidence. He's just not able to consistently beat the opponents that he plays, and the end result is disappointing stat lines for his wide receivers.
Lastly, my 15-year-old son, freshly 15, traded for Sam Laporta in his league, and he instantly changed his team name to the Laporta Potties. Your thoughts?
Very clever, excellent name.
Yeah.
And what did he give up? Do you know?
I don't know. I don't pay.
Let's see how sharp this kid is.
I try not to talk to him.
The farm. He gave up the farm, all of it.
Yeah. I do know he was offered. I'll have to bring it to you next week. Like somebody wanted Stephon. It was Stephon Diggs. They wanted him to trade them Stephon Diggs for Kenneth Walker and Deebo Samuel, and he's really light at running back. So we talked about it a little bit, but I talked about it with him. He was like, dude, I'm not making that trade. And he didn't. He said, I'm not giving he goes, my rule, daddy, is this. I try desperately to not give up the best player in any trade. I don't care how many people I'm getting back. No, that's actually a decent start.
It's a decent starter, but sometimes you might get an offer where you get two really, really, really good players in return, and you've got to at least give it some consideration. There's a trade chart out there that someone might have invented that could help your son and others make good trades in their fantasy. Yeah, it's been around for over a decade.
Where might they
find
this?
If you search CBS Sports Fantasy Trade Chart on Google, it'll come right up, and it gives you numeric values for what every player is worth for the rest of the season in PPR leagues, in non-PPR leagues, in one quarterback leagues, in two quarterback leagues. It's pretty good. It's one of the things I'm most proud of that I do.
And you should, along with this program. And I'm going to print that out here at work. I'm going to throw it at him and say, here you go, stupid. Stop asking me questions. No?
Don't say that.
I'm kidding. I wouldn't say stop
Don't
asking
say
me questions.
Dumb questions.
Actually, we do have to go. We're way over it. I want everybody to know where they can hear, see, and listen to you and all that fun stuff.
It's all on CBSSports.com. All of our original content is there, including links to our podcast, Fantasy Football Today, which are not only available wherever you get your podcasts, but streamed live on YouTube every single morning.
Oh, that's what it was. I've been stalling Jason because I knew there was a question we wanted to ask Dave Richard. So we were talking about this earlier. We were talking about this like on Tuesday. Like, how much do you? We know we're all friends and we enjoy doing the show, but we also were wondering, like, do you tell all the shows that? And we know you're not going to call out any shows you do as like, I don't really enjoy Tom and Frank in Denver. We know you're not going to do that. We wouldn't ask you to do that. But can I ask you, of all the shows that you do, are there any that you don't really enjoy? And without naming names.
No, I've ditched those shows. Look, we're very honest here, and I appreciate about you. We've been talking for over a decade.
Yes.
You've never paid me $1.
That is true.
I enjoy talking to you. And I enjoy talking to Jason more.
Yeah.
But
and I try to pay him
It's a good time for me. I enjoy it. All the radio shows that I do now, they're with fellas that I enjoy talking to. And that's why I do them.
Okay.
That's good to know.
I'm going to spend the rest of the weekend figuring out. Dave Richards not a passive-aggressive guy. He is right. We haven't paid him a dime. Yeah. But I also feel like, we should.
I tried. He turned me down.
Is that true?
True.
That's how good of a guy he is.
Totally true.
Yeah.
Look at that.
True.
But every year what we do try to do, and I don't know if we did this year, but you do the wonderful thing. I believe it's for St. Jude's. And
we do a fantasy football draft-a-thon where everybody donates to St. Jude. We usually have things to to give away in exchange for the donations. But yeah, we do that every year before the season starts.
We do try to get active. I know I bought a conversation with them one year, and I think we just called each other up for like 10 seconds. Like, hey, how you doing? Good. How you doing? All right, take care. Have a wonderful.
That was special.
It was special. I enjoyed it. Have a wonderful week, and stop helping out Phil Oates. He's winning our league.
I haven't talked to Phil in over a year.
Oh, that's what you said.
Let's win some leagues this week, guys.
Yeah, all right,
some great lineups.
Thank you, sir. Take care. That's Dave Richards, CBS Sports. We are way late for a break, but that's fine. He's fun to talk to. When we come back, we'll take a brief look ahead at the NFL weekend, what's coming up, because it's not the Niners. And then Kings Rockets tomorrow at 8 o'clock. Will De'Aaron Fox return sooner than we think? We'll do all that right after this.
Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa every week on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. It's the Golf to Go Hour every week with Frank LaRosa on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
If you finally decided it's time to purchase a new Mercedes-Benz, the family owners of Mercedes-Benz of Stockton are offering select vehicles like the Mercedes-Benz C and E-Class sedans and the all-electric vehicles at 3.99% APR for up to 72 months for qualified buyers. Your new Mercedes awaits you just 45 minutes from Sacramento, right off I-5. See why we make buying the finest car in the world a special event you'll never forget. Welcome to Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. mbofstockton.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
In this market, you'll find Fisher Investments is different than other money managers.
Different how? Aren't we all just looking for the hottest stocks?
Nope. We use diversified strategies to position our clients' portfolios for their long-term goals.
You don't just provide cookie-cutter portfolios?
No, we tailor our clients' portfolios to their goals and needs.
But you still sell investments that generate high commissions for you, right?
No, we don't sell commission-based products. We're a fiduciary, the highest standard of care for a financial advisor. It means we're obligated to act in our clients' best interest.
So when do you make more money? Only when your clients make more money?
Yep, we have one transparent management fee structured, so we do better when our clients do better.
Sounds like you really look out for your clients.
We do, because our priority is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement. That might be why most of our clients come from other money managers. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments. Clearly, different money management.
Investments in securities involve the risk of loss.
The only place in the morning to get your sports fix.
Live and local.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
I didn't have getting parenting advice from Russell, who has yet to parent, on my bingo list for today. He doesn't like the fact that my kids still call me daddy. Thinks it's weird, which I'm perfectly secure in that and fine with that.
I think that only works if you're in the South.
What, daddy?
Yeah. Like when you talk to people in Texas.
I know it's not a popular thing to say, but listen, there's nothing wrong with not having kids. Seriously. Like in some cases, I'm really jealous of people that don't have kids. Also, if you don't have kids, I'm probably not paying attention to you when it comes to child rearing advice. I feel like that's a pair of shoes you probably should wear. You know, I mean, obviously, don't beat your kids is something that's universal. Don't, do X, Y, Z, PDQ to your kid. Yes, of course. But I hope my kids call me daddy when they're 70, which means I would be somewhere in my 100s. Why is that funny?
The thought of you being in your hundreds.
Can you imagine? I would be a horrible old man. Like, I'm already forgetful and strange. At 100 with like one marble rolling around.
And maybe zero filter.
Oh, God. Yeah. I would 100%.
That's what I'm thinking.
I got to get out of this business soon enough because it's just a matter of time before my oldness pops in enough, and I just say something incredibly stupid. By the way, what was the not this rejoiner? What was the I'm getting questions from the text line about the rejoiner song. Not this segment, but the segment
for Dave Richard.
Or Dave.
Yeah,
The Less I Know.
By who?
Tame Impala.
Tame Impala.
Yeah.
Is it like Tame space Impala? TAME.
Yes.
And then Impala like the car.
Yes.
Or the whatever the
I thought it was Tame and Paula.
Tame and Paula. Tame and Paula.
That's what I thought he said. But Tame Impala.
Tame Impala.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is an Impala? Is that a gazelle?
Tame Impala.
Yeah,
it's
sort of.
Like
They
an
got,
antelope
really
and a gazelle.
Horns.
Yeah. Oh, the only reason I know Impala is it's one of the things on Buck Hunter, and they're really hard to shoot.
You don't know the car. The car.
Well,
obviously.
the car is the Impala. The Chevy Impala, right?
Very good.
Chevy and Impala.
There was no snark to that.
That's the no, because that's the other thing that you do with old people. Yeah, very good.
Yeah, good job.
Great job, Grandpa.
You ate your vegetables.
You did, and you didn't poop them. Good job.
I hope when you're 100 years old, you're going to say, I actually remember a time when the Kings didn't make the playoffs. And your grandkids are like, okay.
Yeah, okay, Dad. 9-time world champion Sacramento Kings.
That's my dream, is that everybody hates Kings fans.
Honestly, I'm with you. Like, I want Kings fans to be as obnoxious as Warriors fans are right now someday, with reason for it, in other words. Like, Warriors fans, the most obnoxious. But I think that's very key there, that the nucleus of longtime Warrior fans, those aren't the obnoxious ones.
Right.
The Warrior fans that hopped on board with Steph Curry and the wins and all that, the jerseys with the tags on it, I see it, my kids, that's the obnoxious ones. But that just goes to a personality. When you're a bandwagon-y, hop on board type of person, I think you've got kind of a weak constitution to start with. So you're going to be more loud, and what do they say, insecurity is loud?
Yeah,
you're going to be that person.
Yeah.
It builds character to stick with the team year after year. That's crap.
So we've got a lot of character.
We have more characters than Looney Tunes.
Yeah.
We are the character, yes. And we'll talk about those Kings in about 5 minutes. Just a real brief thing this weekend, Jason. We'll get to this in 4-down territory as well. But looking ahead,
it's a good schedule.
Dolphins Chiefs in Germany.
Yeah,
I mean that usually the Europe games are stupid. This is a match up and a half. And I'm sure it's out there, but again, always trying to help out writers. I really think a betting trend chart on European games over the years. Like, I'm very curious. Is there a trend on maybe the under hits more often because they're on, they're going to be, I think Germany is, I know London's 8 hours ahead of us. I think Germany's on the same time scale, 8 or 9, but probably 8. So they're going to be playing this game. What is it? 6:30. 2:30 p.m. That's not bad,
right?
But the whole week,
but they're all out of whack.
They're all out of whack.
They're 9 hours ahead.
They are 9 hours ahead. So 3:30 p.m. over there, but 6:30 a.m. our time and 7, 8, 9:30 a.m. their time. I'm talking about where they live.
Right.
This is a heck of a game, though, and you know what? This is a signature win hanging out there for Miami.
Oh, this would be really bigger for them, right? If they were somehow to win this,
yes.
Yeah,
yes.
Because I think there's some people that have doubted them, understandably, because they've scored so many points against Denver that caught everybody's attention. They're the fast team. They've got a lot of highlights, but they need a breakthrough type win. Like anybody that they play with a good record, they've not defeated yet. So this would be huge for them.
Absolutely, 100%. Also, Seahawks Ravens. Be interesting how that works out with the Niners on a bye. The first place Seahawks and the Ravens are pretty red hot. And then 2 matchups that are just fantastic. Cowboys, Eagles, Bills, Bengals. Oof.
Good weekend.
This might be the best weekend of matchups we've had all year. I'm very excited for it. We'll take a break. When we come back, Kings and Rockets tomorrow. If you needed more sports, you got it. Could De'Aaron Fox return sooner than we originally thought? And by we, I mean other people. Shams Charania weighed in on that earlier. We've got the audio for you next.
What's the latest with the San Francisco 49ers? Carmichael, Dave, and Jason Ross keep you up to date on all things red and gold during the Niners at 9 every weekday at 9 a.m. on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $20. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Arnold Law Firm.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. We've made it to Friday. We've got partly cloudy start to the day, so temperatures are up this morning. As we head through the afternoon, we're looking at mostly sunny skies, highs in the mid to upper 70s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
The Arnold Law Firm has seen how a collision can turn anyone's life upside down in a heartbeat. So remember to be a little more alert on the road and stay safe. The Arnold Law Firm, providing real justice for you since 1975. Call 916-777-7777.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave letting you know Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room and primetime football location is back. Cap Casino giving away $500 per game in high hand bonuses for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game, offering the best food, best service, and the best action with the most variety of games in the region and conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. Check it out. Capital Casino. And as always, please remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
At Grainger, we're for the ones who specialize in saving the day and for the ones who've mastered the art of keeping business moving. We offer industrial-grade supplies for every industry with same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders, all backed by real people ready to help. So you can get the right answers and products right when you need them. Call quickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, KHTK-AM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento, the only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday.
Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Christopher Ladd with your Sactown Sports headlines. Week 9 of the NFL kicked off last night with the Pittsburgh Steelers beating the Tennessee Titans 20-16. Titans rookie quarterback Will Levis didn't have quite the game that he had in his first start. He was 22 of 39, throwing for 262 yards, no touchdowns, and 1 interception. Sacramento Kings are on the road. They take on the Houston Rockets this weekend. De'Aaron Fox missed the last game with a sprained ankle, but the Athletics' Shams Charania is reporting that he could play as soon as Saturday or Monday for the Kings. You can listen to Saturday's game right here on Sactown Sports. Reminder, all guests come to you via the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Those are your headlines. Now let's get back to the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
The Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone, and then boom.
With Jason Ross.
No, he didn't. Yes, he did.
Call or text it.
Why are they playing all these games all at once?
Thank you. Exactly. What do they have? Is it tomorrow and Monday?
Yep. The home back-to-backs are the worst. You're like, wait, we were just here.
I know, right? So let's see. They got there yesterday, I think late afternoon.
Yeah, I have 4 days in Houston.
I don't mind 4 days in Houston.
Right? Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
And then Monday, and then they fly out Monday night. I don't mind. I've never really gone out and done a ton in Houston per se, but I will tell you, I love the food there. Of course, I grade every city based on food.
That's why you need to follow the G-Man. You got to see where he's eating.
Houston is the source of one of my most controversial takes of all time, and I'll own it still. Texas has better Mexican food than California.
So
they do. I'm open to rephrasing that. When it comes to the large,
I would let you say I like Tex-Mex.
I was just going to say, I personally enjoy Texas's brand of Mexican food known as Tex-Mex on average more than I enjoy the wonderful Mexican food here in California. And I'm born and raised here. I eat a ton of Mexican food. I love it. I've never had, like, dude, big giant shrimp as big as my giant noggin with a sliver cut out and stuffed there in their little shrimp butts with cotija cheese wrapped in bacon and deep fried. Forget it. They serve their salsas warm, like not hot like coffee, but warm like something that's warm.
Mm-hmm. Salsa.
Yes. Like it's just I like that style of food more than I like the style of food here. Now that doesn't mean I haven't had amazing things here in the Mexican food variety. You obviously disagree, Chris. You're a Cali guy. You're a California Mexican food type of dude. But I will also say this, just to kind of back up the stupidity of my comment that I completely own. One of the things I took from my time in China is their Chinese food is terrible. I hated it. I did not like it. I tried a lot of it. I like Chinese food here more than the food over in China. Now, I have not tried all the food in China,
right.
But of the foods that I tried in China versus the foods that I've tried here that we call Chinese foods, I enjoy this more.
Do you think you could identify in a taste test the difference?
I know that I know I could,
but of the Tex-Mex.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
100%. If it's something kind of similar,
it's different food.
Yeah.
I'm trying to.
I know, to your point though, like a hard shell taco versus hard shell taco. Texas is the home of the puffy taco from San Antonio.
Right.
Which
that's a different.
That's my favorite. Any sort of Tex-Mex, whatever Mex dish. I know in China they serve their chicken like they cut it and they leave the skin on and the skin's all bumpy and soft versus here, like skin should be crunchy and that's how I like it. They do it differently over there. I like the Tex-Mex. Honestly, I like Tex-Mex food more than I enjoy the food that I have eaten in Mexico for the most part, which is obviously Mexican food in Mexico.
Tex-Mex, it feels like a white guy that went to Mexico, came back and said, hey, I'm going to recreate everything that I had.
Maybe they're speaking to their demo. I don't know. Maybe I'll own all the things about that. But I've spent a lot of time in Mexico eating Mexican food, which is quite enjoyable. Pancho's Tacos in Puerto Vallarta. Maybe my favorite regular old restaurant in the world. I love their stuff. But if you gave me a lifetime of Pancho's Tacos and a lifetime of Houston area, San Antonio area Tex-Mex, I'm taking the Tex-Mex. Sorry. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Now you're the guy in SNL.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Exactly what I was doing.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. So the Kings are going to have plenty of time to experience the
they will.
The Tex-Mex over there if they want. Although I have a feeling maybe not the best thing for playing a basketball game. Shams Charania yesterday talked about the De'Aaron Fox injury and how he may come back sooner than we think.
Yeah, it's a moderate ankle sprain. I mean, it's worse than a grade 1, but this is a guy, De'Aaron Fox, who played through a fractured finger in the playoffs last year. He's clearly got a high pain threshold. So he missed last night's game. He's really right now day-to-day, Michelle. And I'm told he could play as soon as Saturday in Houston or Monday in Houston. They have 2 straight games in Houston where De'Aaron Fox is from. And so he's a quick healer. This is an early part of the season. But look for De'Aaron Fox to potentially return within a week of this injury, which was worse than a grade 1.
Not a surprise.
Yeah.
He's getting his jersey retired in Houston. He's on the road trip, and this is their only trip to Houston. I would place a fairly heavy bet that at the latest he will play in Game 2 in Houston on Monday.
Now you're leaning that way, huh?
Well, what was I? Where was I leaning before?
Well, I guess what you wanted was for him to not.
I do want him to stay out.
But now you're
Friday.
betting that he'll
I
play.
would bet that he, like we talked about a couple of days ago, that I suspected, as many did too. I'm not trying to take credit for being some super insider here. It's just logic that he loves playing in Houston. He's getting his jersey retired. It seems like he's a day-to-day type of dude with the injury, and we could see him. Now, Shams saying, by the way, Shams, I know Sham's well enough. You know, Sham, he's not just like, I think I'm going to have this take today. Like, he's hearing that from some camp. So I think there is something to it.
I would hope, if that's the case, if he does play on Monday, I hope that means like he's like so close to playing tomorrow. You know what I mean? I hope it's not just, I just want to play a game in Houston because this is where I'm from, and this is our only trip to Houston. I got to play. I hope it's like, maybe I could have gone Saturday, but out of cautious, nature here, we're going to wait an extra day or two. That would be great.
Yeah.
But if it's hurrying back in any way, shape, or form, I'm not for that.
I want him the same way as I felt about Christian McCaffrey. I want him to do whatever the thing is that ensures that he's as close to 100% as possible for the remainder of the year, which is an impossibility in itself, but let's stack the odds a little bit. I want that, especially because we're extremely early in the season and we're playing 3 teams that on paper we should comfortably beat. Not saying we will, saying that's what we will be fairly heavily favored in all 3 of these games that De'Aaron Fox would sit out, the 2 in Houston and the 1 in Portland, and then assumedly return Friday and play Oklahoma City. That's what I want. That is, if you said, Dave, if De'Aaron Fox called in right now and said, Dave, I don't know what to do. I want
you tell me.
You tell me. I would say, friend, get your jersey retired, post up with the wife and kid, and play some Call of Duty until next Friday.
Enjoy your time in Houston. Get your rehab.
Yes.
Stay off the foot as much as possible.
Yep.
And then let's give it a rip. Next Friday?
Yeah, absolutely.
In the first Cup game for the in Kings history.
You're not letting anybody down. Nobody's going to be disappointed in you. We all know you are a DOGG if there ever was one. Just take care of yourself.
And then I say, YOLO, let's do this. Let's sweep Houston.
Just let's go. No rest. Let's go.
Yeah, you're trying to get to 80-2.
Yeah.
So
I'm not, but I'm also not a professional basketball player. This just in. I don't have the internal drive that De'Aaron Fox does. And he's obviously made some very, very good decisions and trusted his instincts. And whatever he decides to do in the end, I'm going to support. But I sure wouldn't mind him sitting out. I don't think any Kings fans would, which is, let's be honest, that's not exactly a normal thing. Most fan bases are like, play, stupid.
Yeah.
And we're like, no, please get better. Here's De'Aaron Fox on the Shams report.
So Shams says there's a chance you play Saturday.
Well, I didn't see that report.
Okay.
Short and sweet.
Here he is on the pain in his ankle.
Oh, like a 4. I feel like it's more like.
Let me read. That was when Sean Cunningham asked him to put a 1 to 10 rating on his pain scale.
Oh, like a 4. I feel like it's more like the impact of hitting the ground and pushing back is what hurts. But I feel like I'm almost there. I feel like I'm close.
The impact of hitting the ground and pushing off. They jump quite a bit in the game.
Do they?
Yeah.
Do they? But Fox doesn't really.
Maybe he can stay low to the ground.
He's not really he doesn't really rely on cutting or jumping at all.
Not at all.
No,
or speed.
He's more of a below the rim guy. Finally, here he is on his jersey being retired.
Oh, it's great. I mean, being able to have family and friends there. And obviously, it's been a while since I've been in high school, but just being able to leave an impact on the community, not only my high school, but just the community as a whole, has been just a great feeling. And just being able to touch people who aren't able to be around, I guess, professional athletes or people of that nature, and just being able to help give back has been great for me over the years.
He hasn't even had his 10-year reunion yet.
Neither have I.
Same guy.
Same exact.
You playing this weekend?
Day to day.
Yeah. What's your pain level right now?
It's at 9.
Or careful with that ibuprofen.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Do we have any? Yeah. What could go wrong?
What could go wrong? over under a minute I could play tomorrow against Houston before I just got some random non-contact injury.
Yeah. Well, the fact that you nearly choked on an ibuprofen makes me nervous.
That ibuprofen had a pretty good game plan.
It was good defense.
Am I snapping it? I feel like I'm in prime. I don't want to jinx it here, but this influx of these injuries has made me really think. I think I'm kind of in the prime area of ruptured Achilles.
100%.
Isn't this like the time?
Factually true.
Yeah. And I don't want that.
Okay.
Because don't you kind of have to have surgery? You either have to have surgery or you like limp forever, right?
I thought
You have to have surgery.
Yeah. I don't want surgery.
I thought you were a competitor.
I can do radio without and I mean honestly, am I gonna limp any less if I have I'm limping half the time around here anyway.
I kind of want to see you on one of those scooters.
with
the horn.
How would you get up the stairs?
Carefully dragging the scooter.
Yeah.
Be a little difficult me going up and down the stairs all the time, but I'd be downstairs making the rounds.
Yeah, you would.
I want to see one of those stairs that they put in older people's houses.
Is going up. Absolutely.
If there was one of those in here, how many people would just use it for fun all the time?
All of us. I would just use it for convenience. Do I want to climb these stairs? No.
It's taking you 30 minutes.
You get so many emails. People, please stop using the chair.
People, please wipe the chair when you're done with
and
it.
Use the seatbelt.
Good news, by the way. I proposed the espresso machine to our boss yesterday. I was told, let's look into it.
Oh, wow. That's positive.
Was that a blow you off? Let's look into it. Do you think?
I don't know. I wasn't in the room. How'd you feel?
I felt like it was right in the middle, but then I went to our
Can we get a little more context
on the espresso machine?
Yeah.
What kind?
What did you say?
I said, look, boss, I have an idea that will bring unity and whatever. Plus, we also happen to need one. What do you think about getting an automatic grind it,
cute,
whatever espresso machine? And he goes, actually, it's good timing because we're trying to figure out maybe get a vending machine or a different coffee thing or whatever. He goes, how much is it? And I told him, and he goes, he seriously goes, that's not bad.
That's it.
That's not bad. And he goes, well, you know what? Get with Cindy. We'll take a look. And I got with Cindy, and so I told Cindy about the coffee machine, and we'll see what happens.
Okay,
it's totally not going to happen, but
that sounds a little more promising.
You think it's a little more promising?
Little.
Did she turn around to a fake computer and like, I'm just going to put this in right here?
She took fake notes.
Yeah,
there you go, Dave.
Excited. Everyone was excited.
Everyone.
We'll
look into it on February 30th.
When we come back. Voice of the Niners, Greg Papa joins us. 3 losses in a row. How can he make us feel better? We'll try that next.
Will Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers brass go all the way this season?
Could the Niners win their first Super Bowl since 1995?
Join us throughout the season to hear all the games and all the analysis on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave, and I recognize, just like my friends at American Energy Heat and Air, that your time is important. And that's why shopping for a new air conditioner is now easier with American Energy Heat and Air's online quoting tool. All you have to do is go to AmericanEnergyAir.com and get an instant quote right now. It'll help you determine what system you're going to need to get. It'll provide the best pricing options, all from the comfort of your home without having to have somebody come to your home. You know how annoying that is? They come in and everybody there is so sweet and nice, but how much better is it to be able to get it on demand? Visit AmericanEnergyAir.com. Check out how easy it can be. Or if you want to give them a call and talk through what your needs are, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990.
Sources, and he just kind of tells it as it is and gets to the point.
Jason Ross.
He has a lot of pretty smart things to say.
He's good at what he does.
On Sactown Sports.
Hey, never mind about Greg Papa. That's right. It's the bye week. Sorry. I know, right?
We're efforting, though.
Are we efforting? All right, just in case. I do think he's got. I think that's usually what we've done in passes.
Maybe he took time off. Didn't he go skiing last year?
He did.
Or try to?
Yeah, because didn't he jack his back up?
I think so. Or maybe it was that between the...
Something like... I remember not that long ago, he jacked his back up, and he was like high for 2 weeks. On whatever medication.
On life.
He was taking. Yeah, exactly. On life. Yeah, exactly. So,
well, it's going to be weird without the Niners this weekend. In one sense, right?
Yeah.
I know them losing 3 in a row hasn't been fun to watch, but it's nice to watch them play.
we were just talking about the when you get into King season and how it sucks when there's no Kings game.
Mm-hmm.
I think it actually sucks worse for the bye week for your team. Because, I'm completely into Niner season, and it's just a once a week thing. It's like going to NFL church, and then now I'm just I'm an orphan.
I'd like them to slow the season down. We're at week 9.
I don't like that.
Halfway through after this week.
Just saw that we are 100 days away from the Super Bowl.
Wow. That'll go like that. Time change this weekend.
Right. Is it this weekend?
Or the clock, yeah.
This is
fall back, but it's gonna be dark at like 5 o'clock. I don't like that.
Yeah, I don't like that at all.
It's not a good call.
Probably first snow in the foothills coming up by the end of the month.
Sure.
And then before you know it, Thanksgiving / Christmas season.
Yeah.
Which I love. It's my favorite part of the year. But there's also that clock ticking. I always tell you the clock's ticking about my kids leaving home. This is more of an immediate one. The clock is ticking. Like you say, 100 days to the Super Bowl. I think of 100 days until the official down spiral begins. Because now football's out. And you still got NBA games, but football's out. You got a good, month and a half, and then baseball comes in. Just baseball isn't to me what it used to be when it comes to sports radio content.
Right.
It's just,
it's not.
We need another sport. Another sport that people care about. Yeah, exactly. Another sport that people locally care about. Not people in the world.
Yeah.
Because if that was the case,
you got Republic tonight?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. I think they need.
Is it tonight or tomorrow?
It's tomorrow.
Sorry,
excuse
me.
That's okay.
Yeah. Dang it.
Maybe we need, I know, right? Maybe we need to push their season to coincide with the end of football and the beginning of, football.
Yeah.
Maybe the end of the NBA and the beginning of football.
I mean,
that's
their season already.
Yeah. Okay. So
that's why the NBA needs to start at Christmas.
I agree with you.
Into the middle of summer.
Because honestly, right now, wouldn't you be okay with that? Okay. So baseball ended.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, but if NBA went December to August, so then football starts in September. Baseball's still going on. That's fine. It's a background sport.
How do I say this? Because I'm aware of how it's going to sound. But I got what I mean by this. Well, okay, it's never
attempting to dazzle Dave.
It's never a good thing to say things like, "Well, the best thing about COVID," because no one's going to take that the right way. Okay, so there was nothing good about COVID. Let's just be clear. I'm looking into the camera here, but of the unfortunate side effects of COVID that actually ended up being a positive, was the basketball season. The way they moved that around, and we got that example. And I understand that ratings were down, but I think a lot of that was because the audience wasn't trained.
Yeah.
I agree with you. If we were sitting here right now on November 3rd, so what? We'd be 2 weeks to media day, something like that.
Maybe a little bit longer.
Yeah. And then media days like the first day after. You know what?
Right after Thanksgiving.
Right after Thanksgiving.
We just finished up the fall league in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Oh my God, he's so right. The fall league in Vegas, major greater than sign summer league in Vegas.
After the draft was last month.
That's the draft. Yeah, you put the draft. Really? The draft would have been in October?
Sure.
Oh my God, it would have been. That's great.
If you play through August, September's free agency while football's going on.
Yes.
October is the draft. Or somewhere, or September,
October, whatever.
And
right when school starts.
Summer league or fall
league.
And free agency and all that. And then camp would start soon.
What would the All-Star break be? July?
No, sooner than that.
June?
Maybe May.
Okay. Can handle that.
April or May, yeah.
So everybody gets a break when it's still nice. It's not like 110. And then you've got basketball and baseball all summer long. I'm sure basketball is fine with competing with baseball as compared to football.
Right.
You give football the wide berth it deserves. Big football comes in. I'm football. It's just football for until February. And think about it from our perspective. I I wouldn't have a problem with just talking basically football, and then maybe Kings, they get their draft pick in, and a couple weeks till opening, training day thing, media day, training. What's it called when you're the training camp?
That's it.
But here we are with no Niners. Yeah. No Niners this week at a good time. Just recapping really what we've talked about with the Niners so much, which is the bye couldn't have come at a better time.
Yeah, exactly. So one, get people healthy, kind of scout, self-evaluate, see what they've been doing right, see what they've been doing wrong, what they need to do for the final push. Because last year, let's remember after they traded for Christian McCaffrey, they had that first game with the Chiefs. And then from that point on, they rolled. They got hot. That's what they need to do again, is find that groove and peak at the end of the regular season.
100%. And I think going into that game in Jacksonville, oh man, that's going to be, I'm already like beyond excited for that game. Now, to me, come out and lay an egg again, lose 4 in a row. I got to take down my pinned tweet that they won't lose the rest of the year. But man, I have a strong system. I really am curious what the odds makers are going to say. I'm honest to goodness, really curious as to what the odds are going to be for that game, because it probably should be like Jacksonville 2.5, 3.5. Wouldn't surprise me if it was a pick 'em or better. Just because Vegas is really good at what they do. Well, they do know. We will take a quick break. When we come back, 4 down territory locks, upsets, what will make you smile and what will make you frown, much like the frowny piles of poo-poo in your backyard. Carmichael Dave here, and I want to talk to you about Supreme Source. Super premium dog food. Bark, bark. Now, our guy Russell in the YouTube chat, he might try to recommend dog food to you, but do you really want to take advice from somebody on dog food who's never owned a dog before? No. Unless they're a veterinarian, which he is not. I have dogs. I've had dogs my whole life. And I'm here to tell you, it's the best food my dogs have ever had. Now, if I'm being perfectly honest, I've also never had a French bulldog before. My Chiweenie dog, Nacho, she'll eat whatever. She'll take each individual kibble and spread it around the house, and we'll find it in weird spots. Because apparently, she's convinced that at some point, someone's going to come in and take her hostage, and she's going to need to have stashes of food all over the house. My French bulldog is a pig, though he's a dog, but he's a pig, and he houses the food in just seconds. And with him, his tummy is tender. That's Supreme Source Super Premium Dog Food, bark bark, with their blend of seaweed, antioxidants, all the good stuff in there in 6 different flavors, 3 different sized bags. It has really, really, really straightened them out. Honest to goodness. Save Mart, Smart and Final, Winco, and more. Go to SupremeSource.com for more information. Supreme Source, Super Premium Dog Food. Bark, bark. Do more for your puppy's belly than rub it. We'll break. When we come back, 4 down territory jokes.
Last season, the Sacramento Kings gave us a little bit of everything. A Pacific Division title, GM of the Year, Coach of the Year, Clutch Player of the Year, All-Stars and All-NBA performers. Plus, we got to light the beam.
Here's a steal by Fox, the breakaway. He's got the rip with the left hand.
What does this season have in store? Find out. Each and every Sacramento Kings game can be heard right here on your proud home of the Beam Team, Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
Individual rates, offerings, and savings may vary, subject to terms and conditions. Not available in all states and situations.
Hey, small business owner. Are you ready to have the best year ever in 2024? When's the last time you checked your workers' comp rate? For many small businesses, workers' comp insurance is one of their biggest costs. But Pi Insurance could save you up to 30% in just 3 minutes. Go to trypi.com, share a few details about your business, and get a quote that's customized for your business. No hassles or hidden fees. We know you're busy, but spending just a few minutes to check your rate could make this your best year ever. Plus, when you sign up for pay-as-you-go billing, your premium is based on your actual payroll, not an estimate. So your workers' comp audit experience is simplified. See how much you could save with Pi Insurance. Ask your agent for Pi or get a quote at trypi.com. That's TRYPIE.com.
Cooler temperatures mean it's time to reduce your outdoor water use. Water 1 day per week on Saturday or Sunday from November 1st through February 29th. Learn more about your home's watering schedule at sacwaterwise.com.
It's time to trade in and trade up at Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings. Plus, get top dollar for your trade. Come in today or go to StocktonHonda.com. It's all a click away.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Based on 2022 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company's own one report.
Sactown Sports
Headlines.
I'm Christopher Lott with your Sactown Sports Headlines. Week 9 of the NFL kicked off last night with the Pittsburgh Steelers beating the Tennessee Titans 20-16. Titans rookie quarterback Will Levis didn't have quite the game that he had in his first start. He was 22 of 39, throwing for 262 yards, no touchdowns, and 1 interception. The Sacramento Kings are on the road. They take on the Houston Rockets. De'Aaron Fox missed the last game with a sprained ankle, but the Athletics' Shams Charania reported yesterday that he could play as soon as Saturday or Monday for the Kings. You can listen to Saturday's game right here on Sactown Sports. Reminder, all guests and callers come to you via the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Those are your headlines. Now let's get back to the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Waking you up with the best in local sports.
They just make it interesting, you know?
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross
on Sactown Sports.
I don't want to be a player no more.
I'm not a player, I just crush lots.
That is true. And congratulations, Jason Ross.
For crushing?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Good on you for all the crushing. Christopher Lott behind the glass. I am Carmichael Dave. We will take you all the way till 10 a.m. where the very controversial Alan Stiles and Chris Watkins will team up. Oh, he's been getting into it on Twitter with me.
Is he?
Yeah,
he's the best place to get into it.
It really is. It really is
a safe place.
He said that Klay Thompson's too small gesture was soft.
Yeah,
because he turned away.
Yeah,
and that has
I don't disagree.
Caused mayhem.
Yeah,
mayhem. 4 down territory ain't going anywhere. Much like safer out, we've still got it for about 100 more days. Don't forget, in this segment, we will take the third caller at 1-800-920-1140. Not sure if you remember or not, but just to remind you, Sac State is also playing this week.
They are.
But we're here to talk about UC Davis football, which is back in action this Saturday.
Well done.
The Aggies need you there to cheer them on, hit up the Fulls. You know what happened is I looked at your shirt. Honest to God, that's how that happened. You got the logo right there.
Way to go, Jason.
Yeah,
My bad.
Thanks a lot, Jason.
Yeah.
Teammate. I told you to cover the logo when I'm doing the read. The Aggies need you there to cheer them on. They certainly do. And hit up the Folsom Lake Honda hotline right now. 1-800-920-1140. Looking for caller number 3. Caller number 3 to win the family 4-pack. Thank you, Jason Ross. Got the helmet right here. I mean the football helmet. For more information, visit SactownSports.com. People have to wear this on their head?
I know, it's so heavy.
God dang. All right, we're good.
Did you see Scott Marsh's costume on Halloween?
No, what was it?
He's a UC Davis football player.
Really?
You didn't see that?
No.
Yeah, he was giving out candy.
Was
That's
he?
a football player. He was an Aggie football player.
He was an Aggie football. Was he giving out candy? Like giving out candy at his house, dressed as a UC Davis football player?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you ever dressed as a Sac State football player?
I have not.
Did he have the eye black on?
I don't think so.
No.
But he had a helmet on.
Did he have a helmet on?
Mm-hmm.
So you can really tell it was Scott Marsh? How do you know it was?
You could tell.
I'm going to have to look this up on his Facebook. 4 down territory right now. Chris Roulade behind the glass has all the questions. We have the answers for you. Chris, please take it away, friend.
What is your lock of the week in the NFL?
Couple of candidates, if you will. I will. I'm gonna go with. I'm going to go with Cleveland. Give me the Browns over the Cardinals. Browns favored by 7.5. This is in Ohio. Cardinals making quarterback changes and doing whatever, plus they're 1-7. This seems to be the most likely lock of the week.
There's a really good schedule this week. We were just saying off air, like this is tough to find an absolute lock. Spreads are pretty close. I'm going to get the Saints this week.
Really?
Yeah.
That was my other one.
Okay.
Saints in there. Can we do 927, Chris? Okay, thank you. All right. I'll ask because Chris is busy here. Jason Ross, what is your upset of the week?
Yeah, or even 913.
Whatever I said?
Yeah.
Did I say I'm at 913? Because right now it's I got you.
Yeah.
I'm not doing well, Jason. It's Friday.
Well, we had some things that just jumped
or
in.
9.
Yeah.
Right? 9.
Sure, actually. Yeah.
9 would be great. What do we end up settling on, Chris? 927.
Okay.
Would you mind? I apologize. I truly do. Would you mind calling him back real quick? I'll finish your part of Fort Ad territory. Tell him I apologize. I was in the middle of a segment. Could we please do 9? And if we can't do 9, do 9:13. Sorry, we're communicating with Greg Papa live on the show, and I do believe Greg's going to join us, so that's worth it for all of you. Your upset of the week. I'm sorry.
Upset of the week. I'm going to go with the Commanders this week over the New England Patriots.
It's like it is an upset, but
yeah, I know. Three-point favorites. Yeah. Patriots are at home. Let's take the Commanders.
I'm going to take the Seahawks, and I hope I'm wrong. Visiting Baltimore over the Ravens. This seems like a good matchup for the Seahawks as well. That defense keeps getting better and better. Kenneth Walker III is maybe the most underrated running back in the game. He certainly is underrated. And they've got some deep threats as well. Seattle's a pretty complete team. I don't think they're the best team. Hey, Greg Pop is going to join us at 9 a.m. for Niners at 9. That's fantastic. I'm looking forward to that. But I'll take Seattle, a 6-point underdog. I'll take Seattle over Baltimore. Chris, if you want to pick it up, we are at third down.
Which NFL game would you most like to attend this week? I think we all have the same one,
yeah,
right?
Let's go to Germany, guys. Oh, Jason's staying home.
Yeah.
Chris, join me, please, in first class. We have a little pod seat.
You guys aren't first class.
We are.
No way.
KCK is flying as first class.
Middle seat.
If you ask our boss, he prefers that we live in the front row of life.
You're right. Never mind.
No,
I'm wrong.
I will be enjoying ginger ale and Mr. and Mrs. T's Bloody Mary mix. Chris, I believe, just said yes to the nice greeting glass of champagne. And as I wipe the hot towel all over my face as we begin to take off, I'm looking forward to seeing Miami and Kansas City in Germany, a place I've never been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then you get there and you'll be sleepy and you'll miss the game.
I probably will. You want to stop off and watch some soccer on our way back?
I think we could do that.
I think we could do that too. Go to maybe North England, watch a few things. Due to a non-COVID illness, according to Chris Haynes, Mavericks coach Jason Kidd did not travel to Denver and will miss tonight's game, according to sources. So, get better, St. Joseph's of Alameda's Jason Kidd.
There you go.
Jason.
Yeah, where am I going?
This is surprising to me. You're turning down a trip to Germany.
I am.
To see perhaps the game of the week, perhaps. Miami and Kansas City, because you want to go to...
I want to hop in my car while you guys are in your first class plane.
Yes,
I'm driving to Philly. I'm driving to Philly. There's no better rivalry going right now. It's Cowboys and Eagles. There are probably better rivalries. But that game is going to be intense. They hate each other. That's going to be awesome. I want to be in Philly. I want to boo the Cowboys. I want to boo the Eagles. I want to boo everybody.
You want to go to Philadelphia instead of in Germany?
Germany. Yeah. Yes. Some call them the same place.
Some do. Very similar.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not very big on outsiders.
Unlike you, I trust the process.
Do you trust the process?
I do. I want a cheesesteak. I want to go there and watch an intense rivalry in America.
I do want a cheesesteak.
See?
Well, Chris and I are going to be eating pretzels and
bratwurst
and hot, fresh sauerkraut and tons of my favorite thing, beer.
Yes.
All the beer.
You're huge.
I'm going to have it in a big old boot.
You know what? They don't have all those IPAs that you talk about.
It's all lagery.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's better.
Better?
That's better.
Okay.
IPA is
I think I read in Frankfurt they have something called apple wine that they serve at the games.
Sounds awful.
You know what apple wine sounds like to me? It sounds like, oh my God, my head's exploding the next day.
Mm-hmm.
This is the worst hangover I've ever experienced.
But you'll be in first class on the way back.
Be in first, like nothing better than fighting a massive hangover 40,000 feet in the air
Exactly.
with all
We're
the
also definitely wearing lederhosen, even though that's part of a different part of Germany.
You call it lederhosen, I call it compression socks on the plane. Fourth down, please.
Which college football game would you most like to attend this week?
Hey, this is a toughie for me because there's two in particular. But as usual, the fat guy is ruled by food. Give me LSU, Alabama. I just want the tailgating is going to be insane. I'm going to get there early. I'm going to smell all the wonderful meat carcasses cooking. Maybe pick up some chili. You know, in Alabama, they have this sauce. It's like their ketchup. It's a white-based barbecue sauce. It's a mayonnaise. Shockingly, a white-based barbecue sauce, but it's a mayonnaise-based sauce. I've tried it before. I've made it here. It's fine to dip fries and stuff into, but but I'll go there. I'm wondering if you're going to take the other one I was thinking.
I'm not.
Okay.
Well, I'm going to one personally. There's no place I like better than Missoula, Montana, as far as the atmosphere for the Big Sky. It's incredible. Sac State's could be their 2 top 10 teams. Would be awesome. But the game I would pick would be Alabama LSU.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. What was the game you were thinking?
Honestly, I was thinking it, and then I thought, that's stupid, because you have no love for USC Washington. But I thought maybe you'd be going there to root on Washington.
Oh, for sure.
But you'd have to be at the Coliseum to do it.
I want Washington to win by 400.
I want them to win 2 bowl games. Okay, so we'll be on the same plane for LSU Bama.
Yes.
Do me a favor. I know you always do. Take lots of pictures of like your view and different things. That Saturday. What time's the game tomorrow?
They're playing at night.
Oh, they are.
Cold.
Oh, and you're not going to get the beautiful.
Oh, well, maybe before sunset.
Maybe before.
Yeah.
Oh, it's going to be cool. So when do you guys fly out about? You know,
a couple hours.
Oh, you're flying. Oh,
yeah.
So you're going to get a nice night and day in Missoula, Montana.
Yeah, and then back tomorrow night or Sunday morning, technically.
But in time for football.
Oh, yeah.
We'll take a break. When we come back, who is hot, who is not? I don't know. Okay.
That's why we asked the question.
That's why we asked the questions. And let's go 3 in the key for Kings Rockets on Saturday on your home of the Sacramento Kings, Sactown Sports.
Can Mike Brown build on last season's Coach of the Year award?
Can the Kings exceed 48 wins?
We will be better prepared to make the run that we expect to run come next playoff.
Tune into every Kings game this season on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
At Ashton & Price, over the last 25 years, we've won just about every injury case you can think of. Slip and fall, falling merchandise, fell through rotted decking, we won those. Dangerous stairs, falls into holes, dog bites, won them. Injured while pedestrian or on a bicycle, auto, motorcycle, big rig, company vehicle, Uber, or Lyft accident, we've won them all. And the best news is there's no fee until you win. So no matter how you got injured,
remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
For a business to thrive, there needs to be a constant stream of new customers. This happens through strong lead generation. Did you know that lead generation is one of the most important tools of any marketing campaign? Let us help you identify your target audience and market your products and services to them. To get started today, contact aimyourdigital.com. That's aimyourdigital.com and start seeing results today.
What's hot and what's not? Brought to you by American Energy Heat and Air, making the uncomfortable comfortable. Head to AmericanEnergyAir.com to find out more.
What's hot?
Yeah, hot. Real hot. And what's not?
It's not good. Brought to you by American Energy Heating and Air, Sacramento's complete heating and cooling company, and second opinion partner.
You are hot. Warm.
We were talking about him earlier today. I think we can all agree with this. Victor Wembanyama is hot. He is the first player with 100 points and 10 blocks in their first 5 career games since Shaquille O'Neal. Also, his 38 points tied for the 3rd most in a game by a Spurs rookie all time. Only David Robinson had reached the mark previously.
Whatever, Spurs. You dumb spurring. I don't hate them, though. I can't. I don't have hatred for them. Like, good for them, I guess. I mean, what else are they doing in San Antonio? The Alamo?
Right.
Puffy Tacos? The Riverwalk? Okay, there's a lot of stuff to do in San Antonio. Also, just want to throw it out there. I haven't said it in a while. It is a realistic thing that we could have a Riverwalk here. And I
totally agree.
I really wish they would do it. We have the confluence of the Sacramento River and the American River.
Mhm.
It's a perfect place for a Riverwalk. Just get it together. Let's raise some money.
Let's go.
Okay. We got plenty of money in the city. Chris, who's not?
The New York Jets.
Oh, really?
Why?
The Steelers last night, they scored on their opening drive for the first time this season. The only other team in the NFL that has yet to score on their opening drive, the New York Jets.
Wow.
Yes, Jets.
Still in playoff contention. Also, what's not hot is our video feed. I'm gonna stand in front of Chris. He's got a lot of plates he's spinning today.
Yeah.
That's all right. Also, it's the end of the week. It was a travel week for him. He was in Cincinnati and Kentucky earlier this week. End of the week. I think he needs the end of the week to come.
Yeah.
We have somebody up in the bullpen right now, but honestly, we got an hour 20 left. I think he'll make it through.
You think all the plates will continue to spin?
I think a couple are going to drop and break.
Okay.
But for the most part, I think he's done fine. Let's bring him back next week. Give him another shot.
Yeah, I think so. I agree with that.
In the meantime, he's on the phone doing something. Not sure if we're going to get a bet here, but 3 in the key right now. This is for Kings and Rockettes on Saturday because we'll be able to do another one on Monday.
Yeah.
All right. 3 in the key. First category, Jason Ross.
All right. Let's go with the Kings.
Hey, basketball. Give me the ball. I'm gonna
dunk it. Hey, what will be the Kings' largest lead?
Dunk it. 21.
21. Wow.
21 different leads.
I have their largest lead. I'm going to turn it up to 11.
Wow.
11.
Wow.
Will be their
Jason
largest
Ross and Spinal Tap.
Chris?
Is on the phone.
It's on the phone.
Yeah, well, maybe we can reserve his questions for. Maybe he'll be done by
be
the
the closer.
end. Yeah, he'll be the closer, which is probably what we need right now.
Okay.
Second down.
Second down.
I don't know.
Second in the key.
Second in the key. 3 seconds. There you go.
Keegan Murray's points / 3-pointers made. So total points, and how many of those will be 3-pointers?
Let's say 17 for Keegan.
Okay.
And he will have 3 threes.
I have him for 16 and 4.
Oh.
So we're in the same neighborhood.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we need a random stat from you, Dave. Something weird, something odd, something different.
De'Aaron Fox will play
on Saturday.
I mean, that's random. It's not supposed to happen.
Okay.
So, Christopher Laud is now off the phone. We saved everything for you, buddy, because we knew you were working. 3 in the key categories, Jason Ross.
Yeah. So, Chris, we asked, what will be the Kings' largest lead on Saturday?
The largest lead will be 21.
Okay.
Wait, isn't that what I said?
It is. Looking for Keegan Murray's points and 3-pointers made.
He will have 16 points and 3 threes. No.
That's fine. Are you sticking with that?
Sure.
Okay.
Is that the same thing that Dave had?
Dave had 17 and 3, and I had 16 and 4.
Yeah, we're all kind of right there.
And then, Dave, you said random stat Fox will play. I'm going to go with Mike Brown will get his first technical.
Ooh. Yeah, did you read the thing about how Mike Brown paid like $20,000 in fines last year or something because he kept he told everybody they were going to get fined if they were late to meetings and team events, and then it turned out he was late to a bunch of team meetings. And Malik Monk stood up and was like, "We got to fine you." I guess they fined him.
Good for him.
20 G's.
Good for Monk.
Good for Monk.
Yeah. Chris, what's your random stat?
Sabonis will have 2 3-pointers.
Sabonis, 2 threes. Okay.
Well, I hope so.
Dunk it.
Poor Styles can't win. He's getting crap on the
Alan. Now why?
Because
he's
saying,
from the Bay, guys.
Yeah, they're saying he's a Warriors guy, but then the Warriors fans are killing him on social media.
He's from Sacramento, guys.
Right? Exactly. Like
he's from everywhere, guys.
Give the guy a break. He's worldly. if you will. And a nice story too, by the way. You know, get how he got his jobs and all that.
Mhm.
We'll take a break.
No, we're not.
We're not even close to taking a break.
Hey, let me finish.
We'll take a break in 10 minutes.
We'll take a break in 10 minutes.
Chris like, no, he won't.
Hold on. We did Who's Hot, Who's Not, and 3 in the Key, and we had to extend 3 in the Key for Christopher a lot because he was on the phone, and we've only eaten up 4 minutes of this segment.
I think, yeah.
And we have like a whole 8 minutes left. Not a problem. Niners at 9 coming up at 9.
With Greg Papa.
With Greg Papa this time. With new and improved.
Yeah.
With Greg Papa. I have so much stuff I wanted to get into in this segment. Here's Derek Carr on the changes that the Raiders made up top.
I just feel for them and their family. You know, I've been through it, you know, and this business is so tough that we forget the human side of things, you know. And so, you know, my heart is for Josh and Dave and, you know, for my friends over there dealing with another change. You know, that's, you know, I lost count how many coaches it was for me at that point. And, you know, there's another change, you know, for those guys to go through and a new scheme to learn, a new philosophy to learn. And that doesn't make it easy as a player. But, you know, at the end of the day, nobody cares.
This also has to be the worst part of it is, okay, whether you like Josh McDaniels I'm talking about the guys on the team. Some probably did. I'm sure a portion didn't. Whatever. I think Devontae Adams said that a change needed to happen.
Yes.
But you also know this isn't the last change.
No.
Like, this is kind of truly an interim, and best of luck to Antonio Pierce.
Yeah, it'd be
but
great.
Likely they're going to have a new coach. So you're just kind of just playing out the season, and you're not eliminated from the playoffs. No one thinks they're going to make it, but it's such a weird. There's a lot of season left.
There's a lot of season left. I love Derek Carr. You know this. He's just the consummate good dude.
Right.
It's really hilarious to me to listen to. I just really feel for Josh and his family.
Yeah, you're not there anymore.
It's not even that. I feel for Josh and his family. People don't realize the personal side of this. He's owed $40 million after this year to sit around and pick his butt if he wants.
Yeah.
Literally picks the butt for $40 million.
But he wants to be a coach.
Screw him. $40 million. Give me $20 million and I will quit radio forever. And dare I say I'm a better radio host than he is a head coach. And that's not saying a lot.
All right. So now 20 million is ridiculous for radio.
Sure.
But whatever the equivalent would be, we don't have to go over salaries, but whatever, where it's like you're getting paid a very good number to stop doing radio, but that's what you want to do.
And
you kind of got let go in an embarrassing way.
Yeah, no, look, if I got paid.
And that's not going to happen to you ever.
Not at all. If I was, the problem is that it's life-changing generational wealth money that he's owed.
Right.
Now,
and that's a factor.
It is a factor. Now, if I was just going to,
to the point where you could live on what they're paying you to go away.
Like live for the rest of my life? I'll
Yeah.
tell you right now, if they were willing to give me a severance package of $3 million.
Okay.
Just saying.
Well, that's crazy.
It is.
Yeah.
But then I'd be like, okay, pick the way that I go. It can't be weird or racist or anything like that. Like, it's got to be like I took a dump on the table or something. Like, I'll go with that. Like, that's fine. I got fired because I went crazy and took a dump on the table. Yeah, that's fine. $3 million, forget about it. But if they were just going to pay me like 5 years of what I'm making now, no, of course not. But I understand, and I'm not immune to the whole human and personal side. I'm just saying, dude, $40 million to sit around and do whatever the hell you want. I don't feel bad I feel great imagine being Josh McDaniels. How do we know he's not like, oh my God, like throwing his wife and kids up in the air? Whee!
I was just going to say, you can just be like super dad.
Yes, you can be there for the best moments of your children. You don't have to worry about, not only do you have to worry about food on the table, you don't have to worry, you don't have to worry about food on all of the tables in all of the houses you own. You can travel. You can take your kids around the world. Like Josh McDaniels basically if you were told that you're going to get $40 million over the next 4 years, Jason, that's like literally winning the lottery.
Yeah.
It's not just a life-changing thing because he's already making good money, but like, again, kind of like what Chris pointed out, he gets to do whatever he wants and he does not have to work a day in his life. Now, he'll probably choose to do that because he's stupid, but honestly, wait till your kids are out of the house and then get back and do something. I would kill for that. I feel absolutely no remorse. He stole money from the Raiders. He stole money from Mark Davis.
Would you stay on social media?
If what?
If you got let go in a way that everybody knew it very publicly.
Yeah.
That you got paid to go away.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you're saying
it's something you do regularly now, but now you're also probably going to be hearing way more from people that are trying to get at you. Because all the things you said, I don't care. I'll sit at home and watch the best part of my kids.
Yeah.
And, I got all this money, but then you're gonna hear it.
So I have a choice between I can or can't be on. That's not part of the money, right? Like I can be on social media if I want. I think I'd be on social media for a minute. And then I think I would eventually, because I'd be able to say all the things I want to say that I can't say. Yeah. I'd be able to call the people what I want to call them. I'd be able to point out I would have no reins on me. And I think that would last a whole, maybe 2 months. And then
you couldn't resist.
No, I couldn't resist. And are you making a point, which is well taken, that maybe my social media is Josh McDaniels' coaching and why he might come back sooner rather than later instead of sitting around on his $40 million?
Yeah, honestly, to the core, I think he wants to be a football coach. So, yes, he's getting paid. And I don't know that he'll ever get a head coaching job again, but would it be crazy for him to be in New England next year? No, but yes, if him going to New England voids his contract. Yeah. But then I think that would show you what he really wants to do with his life.
I would partially respect that. Like I know you're supposed to, he gave up all that money to go back and work. He must really love his job. Like I would respect it, but also be like, God, what an idiot. Like, you're even dumber than I thought. Like, bro, it's still going to be there in 4 years. Maybe not. And if it's not, so what? You'll be hanging out at your Josh McDaniels Chevrolet that you opened up a few years back with some of that money, just kicking back. You can't be a coach. Go grab some car dealerships. Buy some AMPMs. I hear they do well. Mountain Mike's. I know a guy who owns a Mountain Mike's. He makes good money.
Yeah.
Buy some McDonald's. Junior Bridgman bought all those Wendy's and Burger Kings. He's a gajillionaire. Anyways, Davante Adams thought it was time for a change.
Don't get it confused. It's not a celebration that we have a new coach and, there's been changes made. We obviously, I think it was time, one way or the other, it was time for some sort of change, just to bring a little juice in and revitalize the team a little bit. And I think it's more of a mindset that we're trying to, not force, but just have moving forward to just be as positive as possible.
Maybe they bring back Derek Carr.
Maybe.
Even though the trade deadline's over.
Yeah.
Interesting times in Raiderland. But there were some clips put out of Davante Adams and a few others horsing around, having fun. I actually, I'm not trying to call Davante a liar. I do think for some it's kind of a celebration. Yeah. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Nothing personal celebration, just you weren't working and this is far better and we're excited.
Once again, the $40 million, nobody should be sad for him.
Nobody should be sad for him. Good for him. Good for you, Josh.
My goal in life is to get really good at something that they pay me to go away.
Thank you so much. Why do you think I try to piss people off so much? I'm just hoping somebody out there rich someday is going to hear this and contact me and be like, dude, I hate your dumb, droning, nasally, stupid voice. I wanted to knock you off the damn ladder and break your neck. I will give you $3 million to take your big, oval-shaped, stupid, big-nosed head and get the hell out of my life forever. I'd be like,
okay,
cashier's check, please. Yeah. Can I have a goodbye show?
Yeah.
Whatever. We'll take a break. When we come back, that was harsh. Greg Papa on a special Friday at 9 edition of the Greg Papa Show. He will join us. Voice of the Niners next.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL?
Well, Sactown Sports has you covered.
Touchdown! San Fran! right, Cisco! It's all on his shoulders. Fox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $20. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
I was in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean when it happened. There was a sudden jolt and our submarine crashed on the seafloor. We were in total darkness.
That's Dr. Dejana Figueroa, a marine biologist and STEM teacher, talking about a deep sea dive she'll never forget.
It's funny, when I was a kid, I was afraid of the ocean. And there I was, 2 miles below the surface. But as a scientist, you prepare for that. Using our training and a little creativity, we fixed the sub and finished our experiments. The dive was just too important. Every dive gives us glimpses at things few people ever get to see. Glowing creatures, fiery undersea volcanoes. When we got back to the surface, I kissed the ground and called my mom, of course. But you know what? I wouldn't trade that dive for anything.
Dr. Figueroa uses her passion for STEM to discover new things and make the world a better place. She can STEM, so can you. Check out She Can STEM for more stories and inspiration. A message from the Ad Council.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave letting you know Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room and primetime football location is back. Cap Casino giving away $500 per game in high hand bonuses for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game, offering the best food, best service, and the best action with the most variety of games in the region and conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. Check it out, Capital Casino. And as always, please remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Imagine it's the final game of the season, but your symptoms of irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C, are making a comeback. What should you do? Keep managing your constipation with belly pain the same old way? Or try getting ahead of your symptoms by talking to your doctor about Linzess, linaclotide. Linzess is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually.
Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling.
Imagine, what could relief from IBS-C mean for you? Talk to your doctor and say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
No look, Bibby to Weber down the lane, flying jam. There's your play of the night right there. It's inside to Sabonis. A two-hand rip. A brilliant pass from De'Aaron Fox.
KHTKAM Sacramento. KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Chris Verlod with your Sactown Sports headlines. Week 9 of the NFL kicked off last night with the Pittsburgh Steelers beating the Tennessee Titans 20-16. Titans rookie quarterback Will Levis didn't have quite the game that he had in his first start. He was 22 of 39, throwing for 262 yards, no touchdowns, and 1 interception. The Sacramento Kings are on the road as they take on the Houston Rockets this weekend. De'Aaron Fox missed the last game with a sprained ankle, but the Athletics' Shams Charania reported yesterday that he could play as soon as Saturday or Monday for the Kings. You can listen to Saturday's game right here on Sactown Sports. Reminder, all guests come to you via the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Those are your headlines. Now let's get back to the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
The Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone, and then boom.
With Jason Ross.
No, he didn't. Yes, he did.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sactown Sports.
Renfro just said, no more walking on eggshells. I asked about Josh McDaniels. Now we can just kind of have fun and play football. We speak to Greg Papa each and every week, the voice of the San Francisco 49ers. But let's not forget that there's maybe nobody on earth that knows more about the Raider franchise than Greg Papa. And I hope he does not mind as we say good morning to him. Me asking, because we do have a lot of Raider fans, and I know you still have a lot of affinity for that franchise. Did it surprise you that Mr. Mark Davis made the moves when he made the moves?
Mark has very few of the great qualities of his dad, but the one that he does have is a vicious temper. So their performance on Monday Night Football, and specifically because Mark really doesn't know the intricacies of the game like his dad, the offensive performance and the way Jimmy was pummeled in that game, and he took that one shot on his left knee. I didn't think he was going to get up, but he kept playing, and then he missed Devontae on the stutter and go. And so for casual fans, that's obvious to see. Is bench Jimmy and fire the offensive guy and get rid of everybody. So from that standpoint, no. But these guys are a year and a half into a 6-year contract.
Yeah.
And my God, the amount of money. Al never liked to pay coaches beyond their role. Even if they were under contract, assistant coaches, he would work them until whatever the date said, February 1st. He'd work them right then and then fire them after that. He wanted to get his bang for his buck. So from that standpoint, it is not surprising at all that he was angry and just couldn't get over it and decided to cannonball the whole organization. What's shocking to me, and I don't know if there's anybody else on earth but me even knows this story, but for them to name Antonio Pierce the interim head coach is beyond me. So at the end of Al's life, he had a very hard time moving. He was confined to a wheelchair, and getting out of off the charter was hard for him. And he couldn't. He also, those long flights to the East Coast, 6 hours long. He had to get up and go to the bathroom, and it took 3 guys to get him up. And he hated to do it in front of the whole team and show weakness. So there was one trip. He asked me to come on his private charter. He hardly ever did that. I can't think more than 1 or 2 times he ever flew separate from the team. But so he calls me and says, we fly with me tomorrow. We're going to New York, flying my charter. So we go. And it's just me and Jim Plunkett, Tom Flores, and Al. And Al and I sat up in the front and talked the whole time. And we were going to play the Giants. And their middle linebacker then was Antonio Pierce. And Antonio Pierce said to the media that week, the New York Giants could beat the Raiders with 10 guys on defense. And Al he called me up. Look at this quote. Do you believe what he said? He was so angry that he said it, but more than anything, it was just so incredibly disappointing to him that somebody from the other team would say his team is so weak they could play with one less guy. So it really bothered him. I mean, he had feuds with so many people in his life, but this one was different. So I don't know if Mark Davis has any knowledge of what Antonio Pierce said about his dad's team, but I do. And it's just amazing to me that Antonio Pierce in any way is connected with the Raiders, and now he's the interim head coach of the Raiders. I hope Al's not watching.
Wow.
That's an amazing story.
For real. I mean, first, okay, that is an amazing story, full stop. Also, we've been in the business a long time. I get it. We get put in spots. You're on a private plane with Al Davis and Jim Plunkett, and who is the other one? I'm sorry?
Tom Flores.
Tom Flores, yeah, sorry.
Hall of Flamer, Tom Flores.
Sorry about that. Yeah, just Tom Flores. You're on a plane with Al Davis, Tom Flores, and Jim Plunkett sitting up front talking to Al Davis the entire trip.
Honestly, I think Plunkett and Tom were sleeping in the back. Al called me up right. He would often, even on the Raider charter, he would call me up right away and in front of the whole team want to talk about the team. Sometimes it was embarrassing because he would get mad. And I could tell after a certain game, Every game, when we had a tough loss on the road, I tried to avoid them. I didn't want to go near them. But about an hour into the flight, Butch's security guard would come back. Mr. Davis wants to talk to you. So I'd go up, and then I remember one time we had a really hard road game somewhere, and Rob Ryan was the defensive coordinator, and Al was just so pissed at Rob Ryan. So with Rob Ryan sitting right across the aisle from Al, he's talking loud to me. What am I going to do with this defensive coordinator? He's screaming right in front of him, and he's just like, he's going on and on. I go, I don't know, Al. Why don't you take him into the town square and tar and feather him? If you can do that, or have a public shooting. It was so loud, I couldn't avoid. It was so embarrassing. Like, could you have this talk in private? But that's just the way he was. And that flight to New York was just so ingrained in me. There were some moments in his life when he was really down, and for a guy on another team, before the game even started, to say that about his team. He was just, it was the emotion wasn't, he was angry and pissed, and how, who's he to say that? But it was more, wow, he thinks that low of my team, that's what he thinks. So I texted Paul Gutierrez and gave him the story. Hopefully Paul will ask Antonio Pierce about that. And, I don't know Antonio Pierce. Throughout every locker room he's been in, he's supposed to be a great leader. And people gravitate towards him. And obviously he moved up to be a head coach in the NFL. So I'm sure he's a powerful presence, but I wonder if he knows what his words did to the late, great owner of the Raiders at that time in his life.
Talk with Greg Papa here. Another reference in that all of this was a connection between the Raiders and the Niners. You mentioned Jimmy G. He's getting benched. What's his future in the NFL?
I don't know. People just look at the quarterback position and, wow, what a great coach Kyle is. He'd get something out of Jimmy. And that's all true. But Jimmy's, first of all, he has been pummeled, just pummeled. Every single game that I've watched, he just gets pounded. What the Bills did to him in the second week, that Pittsburgh game on Sunday Night Football, it's just nonstop. He's been hurt every game, and he's missing practice time. People don't realize how valuable practice time is, especially for a quarterback and a new set of wide receivers. And Jimmy didn't work with these guys in the off season because he was coming off the existing ankle injury from the end of his Niner days last year. He had to have surgery. So there's a complete disconnect. And then, the line is just not their offensive line. It's not the days of shell up Shaw and Otto, to be sure, and they're just getting pummeled. So I don't know. I would say I think he'll come back and play again this year. Aiden O'Connell is a good young quarterback. He could be, I don't want to say Brock Purdy, but he could be that kind of guy. We saw him in training camp when we had the joint practice with them and Henderson, and then in the game itself, he was phenomenal. He just got the ball out on time. I mean, the guy just processes. Like Brock, he's a natural quarterback. He sees it, he rips it. So he could play, but I would think there's going to be a point where they'll go back to Jimmy at some point. But if not, you tell me. I think they're on the hook for him one more year next year, contractually. So. Yeah. But it's a 3-year deal, but essentially it's a 2-year. So they could just release him. I mean, you tell me who's going to be their coach next year. Is it going to be Jim Harbaugh?
Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah. That's another story. Al was grooming. Now, Mark's done a lot of things that go completely 180 degrees from his dad, but Jim Harbaugh's not one. Al was grooming Jim Harbaugh to be the coach of the Raiders for a long time, and then Jim went to USC and Stanford, and then the Niners just simply paid him more money. Al spoke to Harbaugh about being the Raider coach the day the Niners hired him, but he wasn't going to pay him that kind of money. Just not in his DNA to pay a coach that much money. But anyway, Harbaugh, would he like a Garoppolo as a stopgap? Could they ever get the draft rights to Caleb Williams or finagle him to Vegas? That's one of the teams he's mentioned. Would they bring Lincoln Riley? I don't know. But as far as Jimmy goes, I hope he gets on the field this year. Otherwise, I think it's possible he's looking, even if the Raiders are paying him a big balloon payment to go away, he may be looking at, going to camp somewhere next year as a backup quarterback.
How much, in your opinion, I know this is supposed to be Niners talk, but this is just so fascinating, Greg. Anytime you tell stories, and no one knows this, like I said, franchise better than you. You mentioned that Mark and Al differ in many ways, but not on Jim Harbaugh. In your opinion, in your experience, how much does Al's, not his legacy, but wanting to be like his dad, wanting to do like this is what dad would have done, that type of thought process, does that permeate Mark's decision-making process in your opinion, or is he the I want out of my dad's shadow type of guy, or a combination of both? I'm just asking.
Going back, I never said that. I've never spoken to Mark Davis about Jim Harbaugh ever.
Oh, I'm
Never.
sorry.
Okay. I don't know if he knows him, or I'm just saying Al loved Jim Harbaugh.
Gotcha. Okay.
He hired him as quarterback coach. Jim's first job in the NFL was when Gruden left and Al traded them to Tampa. They needed a quarterback coach for Rich Gannon. So Mark Trestman was hired as the offensive coordinator. And I think Mark was the quarterback coach. He went up to OC. They hired Harbaugh. Harbaugh was green. And Harbaugh was a completely different guy. He and I would run around on the road together. And when he became a head coach, he changed. But anyway, Al just had an affinity for Harbaugh because he was a player. Al loved ex-players, and he wanted them to learn to call plays and all that. But he didn't want them to go. When Harbaugh left to become the head coach at University of San Diego, Al could not get it. He's like, why? And Harbaugh told him, I want to be a head coach. I want to learn. He goes, Al was working with the Chargers when he was young, left and went to the was working in pro football, left and went to University of Southern California to become a recruiting guy. And Harbaugh said, you left and went to college and came back. And Al said, I went to USC, not USD. There's a big difference there. So anyway, Al was grooming him, but he wasn't going to pay him. It's right when he hired Hugh Jackson as head coach. Anyway, as far as Mark, I think he makes every decision separately. There are some that his dad would make. There are some that his dad wouldn't make. And I don't know how close he was with his dad, honestly. His dad could be really rough with him. Yeah. So I don't know if he values that at all. I think he, with the Hall of Fame and all that, and Al's desire for that, certainly he does. But let's face it, the reason I'm no longer working for the Raiders is because Mark made decisions that his dad would not only be against, he would be appalled by. Interviewing Mike Shanahan to be the coach of the Raiders, you think Al would be on board with that? No. Having Marcus Allen light his eternal flame torch, which is a symbol of Al's life, not just retiring Marcus's number, which they don't do, but he did a couple of things that I know Al would. I would the one time when they had him light his torch, I said, you better make sure he's dead. You hit that torch button and he's alive, the whole thing's going to go up in flames. So, but there's some things he does that I think Al would. The whole Vegas thing, Al loved Vegas. He used to have all his birthday parties there. So I don't think he consciously decides, oh, my dad would love that or my dad would hate that. I think there are times he doesn't really care what his dad would do. He's got to do what he does, and which is fine. But there's some things that are so personal, like Mike Shanahan. Obviously Marcus Allen, and I'm sure he has no knowledge of this Antonio Pierce thing. But when I heard the name Antonio Pierce as the Raider coach, I was like, wow, the irony in that is just dripping. Unbelievable.
Greg, I want to go back to you getting called, summoned basically by Al's security to get you up to the front of the plane. Is he talking to you? Is he venting to you? Is he asking for your input? Like, kind of how is that going?
Yeah, a lot of times it was. He would just get on the plane, and when he was younger, he'd walk on, and he was fine, and he just had a look. I just tried never to make eye contact with him ever. I mean, after a game, because it was the Al evil eye, and it was evil. When he lost a game, he was possessed. So it was. I didn't want to be around him. And I didn't want to, he asked my opinion on certain specific plays and things. How to look upstairs would be what he'd say. And then, the coaches were all sitting right there. And Al would, whenever he was upset about something, which was all the time, he'd be upset with his coaches. He very seldom would be upset with players because he loved his players. He's the one who picked them all. So he'd blame the coaches. So it was, and they're all sitting there with him. I can't imagine sitting up there in that plane for 5-6 hours flying home with Al Davis after a loss. My God, I'd rather get tarred and feathered, I think. I mean, that would be just beyond. He is an evil man when he loses a football game. So a lot of it was just, what I saw upstairs on certain plays. Can you believe we did this? Why didn't we do that? What do I do with this guy? And blah, blah, blah. But then, a lot of times he would call me after practice a lot late in his life. He just, he couldn't make every single practice. And the few ones that he would miss, he'd call me and ask me what he saw at practice. So, but yeah, it was mainly just about the football team and how they performed or didn't perform. And he'd be critical of his coaches.
I can't believe I've never asked you this, Greg, and the world of love and respect I have for you to know that I mean this. Did you ever consider leaving play-by-play, leaving broadcasting, and actually working football like full time?
Oh yeah, for 5 years I considered it. From 2006 to 11, he wanted me to come work for him.
What stopped?
We had many money. He didn't pay me enough money.
Okay,
okay, that's a good answer.
That's a really good answer.
He paid me an insulting. He offered me an insulting amount of money one time. I was like, hell, I make more money doing 50 San Francisco Giants games than this. How do you expect me to walk away from? And I was going to do it because it was fun. It'd be something to try,
Sure.
We all play, when I'm coaching, when I'm broadcasting a game, I'm pretending I'm coaching. When I'm on the radio Monday through Friday, they traded for Chase Young when I do that. And you pretend you're a GM. So it'd be nice to try it. At first I thought, I don't have the background in that. How could I ever do that? And Bruce Allen, Bruce sat me down, and Bruce was a player agent. Scotty Sterling up in Sacramento, the great Scotty Sterling. He had no background. He worked for Al for years. Ron Wolf. Al hired him in the 60s because he had an incredible memory. And look at Ron Wolf. He's a Hall of Fame executive, groomed by Al, but worked for the Packers. I talked to Ron Wolf about it for a long time. He gave me some great advice about that. He said to me, you realize Al Davis has never made a mistake in his life. So if something goes wrong, it's your fault. So it was one of those deals,
Right.
So, so it was hard. No, we went back and forth. I mean, he did. I remember one Sunday going over to meet him at the Hilton where he was living at the end of his life by the Oakland airport. And we had a long talk. I think the reason we got along so well is I could just talk to him. He reminded me a lot of my father. In fact, he and my father were close whenever they would interact. It was like two old buddies. I don't know. And but my dad's very different than Al Davis. But anyway, I didn't have any problem disagreeing with him. I don't know. I just didn't. But respectfully, he and I never had words. One time he snapped at me and said, "You're so effing dumb." And I was like, that's why I'm not going to work for you. That's never going to work.
Right.
I'll quit. I'm not going to. So anyway, it was basically money. I would have done it. I would loved to have done it. I actually spoke to Mark about it because Mark knew after his dad died, but he wasn't going to do that. He was going to go a different way. He actually offered me a job for like 6 months that year, but I was making too much money in broadcasting or more money, that it wasn't worth it. And one time Al called me and snapped at me about when he was getting close to hiring me. He said, "You have 5 kids? You're never going to work here. You're going to be at Little League practice at 7:00 at night. You're not going to be here burning the midnight oil." I'm like, I'll take care of my kids. We went back and forth.
Sure.
So honestly, it's probably the biggest regret of my life that I never got a chance to do it.
Really?
But honestly, it probably would not have worked out well because he was at the end of his life. He didn't live very much longer after that. He never thought he was going to die. This was all about the succession plan and who would run the team after he was gone. And he really never had one. So when he died, his wife, Carol, and Mark just took it. And that's kind of what he wanted to do from an ownership standpoint. But he just never thought he would die. I spoke to him. I think that he had a mild operation on the Wednesday he died. I think it was like Monday of that week. He had died. We spoke. So he never thought he was going to die. So that was part of it. But yeah, I do think about it often of those years. But I mean, for 5 solid years from 06 to like 11, I really backed off on a lot of broadcasting, or even earlier. I guess it was earlier. But anyway, yeah, we came close. We had many meetings about it, hours of meetings, and he offered me money. But again, it just came down to Al Davis is cheap, I guess, is what the bottom line is.
What was the role going to be?
Yeah, I was going to ask the same thing.
General manager.
What?
Maybe the GM.
What?
Well, it would never have been. It would never have been called that because.
Sure.
What did he say? He had I got notes on my desk here. Overseer. I don't know what he had. He was the general manager. Like Bruce Allen was never general manager.
Right.
Bruce was, the special assistant to the owner or something like that. It would have been something like that. He, just run the locker room. Touch every player every day. Be involved with him on player acquisition. Be his right hand man as far as so it'd be like Al's the GM, but he knew that he was, and he had people close to him. John Kingdon was with him till he died. And John and I were very close. John was my statistician in the booth all those years, so John was really close. So John was involved in all that. So there wasn't a formal title. I do have it in my desk here. I saved all those notes. Overseer, something like that. I don't know what I was overseeing. But just being around the team and the liaison really between the coaching staff, the players, and him. Because, that's the biggest role, is to keep peace between the head coach and the coaching staff, and especially the defensive coordinator and Al. Because Al's brutal on all coaches, but, man, he is tough on defensive coordinators because he was a D-line coach. So, the defensive, that's the worst job in American sport, was being the defensive coordinator for Al Davis.
Look, what a perfect way to spend the bye week. We're out of time. We actually want a double segment. Thank you, Greg, but we just couldn't help sit back. And, we always love listening to your stories and listening to you talk about football history in general. But thank you so much for sharing that with us. And I'm sure you've had this offer before. I'm sure you've thought about it before. You're a busy guy. You ever want to write a book about Al Davis and you need a ghostwriter just to sit there and transcribe? I am your guy. You pay me $5. You can pay me Al Davis style. Out $5, whatever you want.
So that's where. So right around the time he was talking about me working for him and everything.
Yeah.
His 80th birthday was coming up, which happened to be the 50th or 60th year, 50th year of the NFL. My years are kind of getting crazy here. Going back to the old AFL. Remember when they had that documentary, the colored football?
Yeah.
It was the 50th anniversary of the AFL. And Al, he did not like the way a lot of it was being portrayed, the history of the AFL. And Al's impact on the Oakland Raiders and the Los Angeles Raiders is profound, but really, it was the AFL, the merging of those leagues, which he was against, his feud with Pete Rozelle and Lamar Hunt. And so anyway, he wanted me to write his autobiography. He wanted me to write a book on him. And I have no background. I've read a few books, but I certainly have not written a book. So I'm like, I wouldn't even know how to start. But the point was we were working on long form interviews.
Yeah.
We went into his office and did hours and hours of interviews with him. And we got into every topic. And yes, the Marcus Allen situation, which is extremely delicate. He was going to share what happened with that. And then he backed away. He wouldn't do it. He got all upset. And when I pushed him on it, and then he gave me a book to read about it. And it's a very tangled situation. I'll leave it at that. And I have my own theories on that. But one summer, I guess that was, what was that, 09? The years are kind of blending together here. Anyway, it was the anniversary of the American Football League, coincided with Al's 80th birthday in that one year. And he was he was very, retrospectful at that time. And so that's where we spent hours and hours and hours together in his office, was researching and then actually on camera doing some interviews. Some are available online. He didn't look good at that point in his life. He had bandages all over his face. His fingers didn't work. I remember him, trying to have a glass of he loved soda whenever he was drinking Coke. His fingers didn't work well. It was just the image of it is tough for me. But anyway, he was working on that very thing. And there was a smaller book written by a writer down in L.A. that he brought in, but it was nothing like he wanted it to be. It was more of a pamphlet. But he wanted a full-blown Al Davis story. But honestly, Dave, I wouldn't be, you'd have other people. John did write a book about him, and it was hilarious. The Raiders weren't real happy with it because it took, it was respectful of Al. But he told some stories about Al that were hilarious. One about Al's affinity for cheeseburgers. But anyway, that was kind of one summer was the major project. One off season was me doing these long form interviews with him, and then transposing all that into a book form or long interviews. And like so many things in Al's life, he was so distracted by his football team and never quite got done.
I'll just wrap up like this. Here's my pitch. Honestly, you get a former player or somebody you pick to do the forward. We write the introduction and the conclusion or the epilogue, and then you pick the 10 best stories, your 10 favorite stories or most important stories about Al. A blurb at the beginning of each chapter with the title of whatever the story is, and then just talk it into a microphone, transcribe it, and that 2 months, Greg, and the book's done. It should be told, and it would be an incredibly easy book to put together, and your encyclopedic memory and access and anecdotes of who the man really was. You've helped me. When I first met you, I was like, oh, Al Davis guy, he's this guy, what a weenie. I don't like this guy. I'm a Niner fan. Who the hell is that? And you've helped me so much through the years and understanding there's a whole different side to him. And I think that's worthy of that. Those stories are worthy of being told on a broader scale. That's my pitch. I'm telling you, $5.
I believe me. Yeah. But the only thing is I didn't meet Al Davis. I went to work for the Raiders in '97, so there was most of his dominant football life was, from the late '60s. That his '68 draft and '67.
And when did Mitch Albom meet Maury? That's the thing.
Well, I know.
I mean, I honestly don't know the answer.
So one of the funniest. The first time I met Al Davis, and I remember this one. He used to come to Clippers games with Donald Sterling. He'd sit there with Billy Crystal and who's that actor? Robbie Benson. Robbie Benson would sit there. So I would occasionally go over at halftime, Al would be in an all-white suit, and say hi to him and talk. He loved the NBA. Anyway, the first time I ever met him was at the old Oakland Coliseum Arena. The Warriors are playing the Pistons. He was a big Pistons guy. He's the one. Remember when Isaiah turned his ankle against the Lakers in the NBA Finals one year?
Yes.
They were in LA. They sent Isaiah over to the Raider facility to get his ankle worked on. Again, he had 25 points in the one quarter. And, Al loved the bad boy image of the Pistons and all that. But anyway, so it's halftime in the 90s. Warriors are playing the bad boy Pistons. Halftime, I walk back up the tunnel in the locker room to go to the bathroom and to grab a cup of coffee. I pick up my head, and there's this guy in this all white jumpsuit. I'm like, what? So he comes up to me, extends in his hands, and he says, Greg Papa, how are you? And I said, and you are, sir? Pretended like I didn't know who he was. And he laughed because he went to Syracuse, obviously. That's the very first time I ever met him before I went to work for him in '97. Quite a man. Many sides. He's absolutely your worst enemy. You had an enemy, you didn't want it to be Al Davis.
Sure.
Because he's going to go hard, but he also is your closest friend. So an amazing individual.
Well, look, I think at this point our corporate office is about to fire me for the segment, but you couldn't drag me out of it. Hey, Greg, thank you. No. Thank you for one of the best, most incredibly interesting radio segments I've been a part of in a long, long time. What a great way to spend the bye week, and we'll be back at it next week ahead of the Niners and Jags. But thank you so much for opening up about all that, Greg. Seriously.
Yeah, we'll talk about Tread Bulky next week.
The bulky years.
I'll get my knee braces on.
Is riveting.
See you, buddy. Take care.
Take care, guys. Have a good week.
You too. I mean, we are way late, but my God.
Incredible stuff.
That was I got chills at some points too. So that was about as long a segment as we'll ever do. And we apologize for going so long, but I hope you enjoyed that half as much as we do. And I'm serious. He needs to write a book. That is a book and a half. We'll take a break. When we come back, celebrity birthdays. That's pretty much what we're going to do. And then on to Friday Fun and Games. Don't go away right after this.
Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa every week on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. It's the Golf to Go Hour every week with Frank LaRosa on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
One of the things with running is I want to enjoy the run, but I never made it very far because the arches on my feet just killed me. So when I got to the end of my rope and I said, I have to do something to get rid of the pain, and a couple people recommended the Good Feet store to me. I loved how I could go in and get a free personalized arch support fitting. They put that time, that work, that effort into helping you find the right arch supports. And you can walk around the store with these in your shoes and try them out before you purchase them. So after I got my arch supports, the arches of my feet stopped hurting and the pain instantly, literally instantly went away. So if you have pain, go. Find a Good Feet store and go. There is an answer. Find the simple solution that will get rid of your pain. I'm Rondi, and that's my Good Feet story.
See how Good Feet arch supports work for you before you buy with a free fitting and test walk at the Good Feet store.
Knee, hip, foot, leg, or back pain? Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Arnold Law Firm.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. We've made it to Friday. We've got partly cloudy start to the day, so temperatures are up this morning. As we head through the afternoon, we're looking at mostly sunny skies, highs in the mid to upper 70s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
The Arnold Law Firm has seen how a collision can turn anyone's life upside down in a heartbeat. So remember to be a little more alert on the road and stay safe. The Arnold Law Firm, providing real justice for you since 1975. Call 916-777-7777.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
With wet weather here, you're probably going to play a few rounds in the rain, so keep a few things in mind in those wet conditions. The ball probably won't go as far because you'll get little, if any, run out. If you tend to hit the ball low, maybe think about adjusting the loft of your driver to carry the ball farther. And when you get to the short clubs on the wet ground, your wedge can have a tendency to dig into the turf, so focus on hitting the ball first. And if you occasionally spin the ball back on the greens, expect more of that to happen when they're wet. Now, all of this assumes that you're ready to play in the rain. You own waterproof shoes and rain gear, rain gloves, which work best when wet, and an extra towel to keep everything else dry. But the most important thing you should bring to the first tee is a positive attitude. I found some of my most memorable rounds have been played in the rain. Overcoming the conditions to enjoy yourself while possibly shooting a good score makes for a great day. And remember, golf is a game, even in the rain. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
Only one radio program captures the excitement of hunting and fishing as it happens. The award-winning California Sportsman with Sep Hendrickson. Only California Sportsman takes you where the action is, live on the water, live in the blind, and live with the top pros and experts in outdoor sports. California Sportsman with Fishing Hall of Famer Sep Hendrickson is your premier destination for all things outdoors. Sep's Saturday Morning Outdoors. Ultimate Bass and California Sportsman, 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. Saturdays on Sactown Sports 1140.
Bonneville International Radio Station contests are open to participants at least 18 years of age and older that are residents of California and who reside in one of the 6 counties that make up the Sacramento metro area, unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contest are not eligible to win, unless the station otherwise specifies in its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 30 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. For a copy of the general contest rules, visit khtk.com.
Jerry and Kenny here from Bell Brothers. And if you've even thought of replacing your old, outdated, inefficient windows, now is the time to take action.
Right now at Bell Brothers, when you buy one window, you'll get the second one for 30% off. That's right. Buy one, get the second one 30% off.
That's real savings, up to $6,000. You have to buy at least 4 windows to qualify, and you can't mix windows and doors. But beyond that, every second window is 30% off.
For example, when you buy 10 windows, you will get 5 windows at 30% off. We also have 0% interest financing available for qualified buyers. Call for details.
To take advantage of our buy one, get one 30% off sale, call Bell Brothers now at 916-444-1234 or find us online at thenosurpriseguys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
Hooking you up with the best in local sports.
Just to make it interesting, you know? It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross
on Sactown Sports.
It's funny, checking socials during the break. I guess word began to spread that Mr. Papa was telling story time. And I know a lot of you are already asking. We'll get that up ASAP. We're going to clip up at least one of those. That Pierce story was pretty amazing in itself to start the whole thing, the new interim coach for the Raiders. But then Greg really started going down a road there that he didn't often go down.
Yeah.
And we don't ask him to.
Right.
The Niners need more bye weeks.
Seriously.
Exactly.
But you can tell that I don't want to speak for Greg, but I don't think it's a secret that he didn't leave that organization in the way he wanted, that he is all in on the Niners and is super happy to have that job. But also there's a lot of silver and black that will forever bleed in his veins, flow through his veins. And you can tell that passion comes out. And I don't think anybody, Jason, you and I were talking about during the break. I don't know that anybody was closer to Al Davis. Not many, if there were, than Greg Papa. It seemed like it was almost a kind of a, I don't know if it's a father-son, but just beyond football. And Al Davis is one of the most complicated, intricate, interesting, polarizing personalities in sports history. So to have that type of insight is pretty crazy.
And just in hindsight now, I remember the broadcast. I was doing a couple years of Raiders pregame and postgame. In the 3-year window, there was the time when Al Davis died. Greg Papa's calling the game.
Yeah.
And he was so emotional on the game, describing Al. And I thought, I didn't question like it being over the top, but now it just registers like you had a real relationship, and it meant a lot. He meant a lot to him in a variety of ways. And so it just makes more sense now.
We did not have that in the rundown to go that long, so we're behind.
Yeah,
I'm going to let you call the ball here because you know how long Friday Fun and Games can be.
We'll be good. We can go. You two can do a quick battle of celebrity birthdays because we do have a sponsor, and it's brought to you by our friends at Crumble Cookies.
Yeah,
birthdays are meant to be spent with family and friends, and nothing brings family and friends together better than Crumble Cookies. So, Carmichael Dave, Christopher Laud, how old today on this November 3rd is Kendall Jenner?
Kendall, I think, is the young one, right? Is she 23?
She's actually 26.
Okay, Chris for the win, 28.
Oh, wow. Is there a younger one?
I don't know.
Okay, then. I don't know.
You know what? I'm not keeping up.
She's the one that, through all of 2020, all the strife, she brought everybody together with Pepsi.
Oh, that's right. I remember that commercial. Good for you, Kendall Jenner.
Happy birthday to Colin Kaepernick.
Colin Kaepernick is 30. I'm going to be off by 1. 33?
You're going to be off by 2. He's 35.
Is he?
Yeah. Dave's going to be off by 1 plus 3. He's 36.
Oh, my gosh. He's old.
Or 1 plus 2.
He's so old at 36.
Happy birthday to Roseanne Barr.
100. She is 71.
She's not that old. She's actually 68.
We actually have a correct answer.
Yeah.
Roseanne Barr is 71.
Oh, I was sure you got it.
Happy birthday to Dolph Lundgren.
Oh, Dolph Lundgren. I must break you.
Why?
Just guess. That's what Chris was saying during the whole Red Pop-Up. Dolph Lundgren is he is 70.
He is 73.
Dave for the win, 66.
Oh.
Happy birthday to Phil Sims.
Phil is 68.
Father of Chris Sims.
Yes.
What'd you say? 60?
68?
64.
He is 69. Nice day for the win.
Yay!
Happy birthday to comedian, former SNLer Dennis Miller, former Monday Night Football
analyst. Dennis Miller. You cannot take a porcupine, light it on fire, throw it in the porn, and call it licorice. That's a quote. Dennis Miller is 68.
He is 72.
Ty, he's 70.
Is he really? Wow.
Yeah. Happy birthday to Michael Dukakis.
Oh my goodness. Oh,
is he the guy that ran for president?
Yes. Yeah, he was in the tank. No, I mean literally in a tank.
But the helmet got him.
Yeah. Dukakis is 85.
He is.
You'd have no chance.
81.
At 85 either.
He is 90.
90.
Happy birthday to two former Kings, Ty Lawson and then Tariq Abdul-Wahid.
Are they the same age?
No.
Oh, okay. Ty Lawson is 47. Tariq Abdul-Wahid is 40.
I'm going to flip those.
Yeah.
I say Ty Lawson's voting in,
so
but it's funny.
Okay, Chris for the win on both. Ty Lawson is 36, and Tariq Abdul-Wahid is 49.
Ty Lawson's only 36.
Yeah,
That's
he didn't play it that long ago.
Damn it. You gave him 47.
I won the other ones, kind of.
Sometimes.
All right, we'll take a break. He must break us. When we come back, Friday Fun and Games with Styles and Watkins next.
Last season, the Sacramento Kings gave us a little bit of everything. A Pacific Division title, GM of the Year, Coach of the Year, Clutch Player of the Year, All-Stars and All-NBA performers. Plus, we got to light the beam.
Here's a steal by Fox, a breakaway. He's got the rip with the left hand.
What does this season have in store? Find out. Each and every Sacramento Kings game can be heard right here on your proud home of the Beam Team, Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Are you ready to go back to the summer of '99? Creed is back. Summer of '99 tour. For the first time in more than a decade, with very special guests. 3 Doors Down. Plus, Finger 11. September 1st, Toyota Amphitheater. Tickets on sale Friday at 10 a.m. at LiveNation.com. As part of the Hard Rock Sacramento Concert Series.
It's the model year-end sales event at Acura of Stockton. Elevate your driving experience with a vehicle that's built to impress. Lease a new Acura RDX or MDX. Acura of Stockton has a great selection of new Acuras and customer service that will exceed your expectations. Take luxury to a whole new level in a new Acura from Acura of Stockton or AcuraofStockton.com, where precision-crafted performance is at your fingertips.
On December 9th, witness a mind-bending show like no other with The Clairvoyants Holiday Spectacular at Gold Country Casino Resort in Oroville, featuring mind-reading, magic tricks, and illusions, with a special appearance from Mr. Coney Handini, the world's first mind-reading dog. Get your tickets now to see The Clairvoyants live, only at
Gold Country Casino Resort.
Must be 21 or older.
We have finally made it to Friday
Let's end your week the right way with Friday Fun and Games.
on the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Hey, is that Friday Fun and Games thing new? Or if I just missed it every
About 3 weeks.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, okay.
You probably say it every week.
Yeah, probably. Welcome in, Watkins. Styles Watkins. Hello. Alan, I just want you to know I'm continuing to follow the saga of you
getting cooked
on both sides, and you know what? I got
Yeah.
I got your back. Not that that's going to help with Warriors.
You know
fans,
what? No.
but
And
I
I
got your
have to
back
say,
with Kings fans.
but I have to say something to you. And I told Chris I was going to say this because I'm a real person.
Oh,
You know, I look around the room.
Yeah.
Ooh, I feel like this needs some
And Chris
inspirational music.
Chris followed me back.
Yeah.
And Jason followed me back. There's only one person in this room that didn't follow me back.
And it's Chris for life.
No,
Wow.
it's you.
Oh, is
it's
it?
you. Follow me back right now, or we're done.
I don't. All right.
Yeah.
All right. I'm being.
Wow,
I'm
I love how he
being-
admits,
Yeah.
hey, I saw your tweet last night on
I
Twitter.
did.
No,
Don't
I was
follow
going to let it
Yeah.
slide. I was going to let it slide. Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
What
that's
is
a
your?
guilty
What is
face.
your?
No,
Oh,
don't play.
Here's a plug. What is your? Well, no, because I just put in your last name and it didn't.
_Styles Files.
The
Styles with an I, like Julia. Saved the Last Dance.
Can I say that I think I was the first one to quote tweet. I think, or the second.
You did,
thing,
but that doesn't matter to
Welcome
me.
aboard, and
That's why I thought, oh, great, he followed me back. And then I was,
He didn't.
he didn't.
Hmm.
No, well, you're going to follow me, or we're done here.
All right.
Dave's very into his ratio. His
I really am.
Well, you can, that means
You can drop Jason.
Put in a damn search bar.
Makes sense.
I can't. I did the
See, he's
underscore
pretending
and all
like he
that.
can't
No, I
find
really
it.
did.
Oh
I put
my
in your
God.
first
But yet
last
you
name.
saw
I
the
will
tweet.
say that
That's
Twitter
right.
has gotten
It
harder
shows
to
up
find.
right
for
there. Oh,
Yeah,
now your
it's gone
phone.
wrong.
Oh, now
Oh,
that's your
wow.
child.
That is my child. Wow. Yeah. You don't.
You unfollowed
Oh,
your
here we
child.
go. All right. Look.
You don't even follow your
right?
child.
Oh wait, I was following you. No, I wasn't. I'm just kidding.
Wow. I was like, oh, sorry.
Take it back.
It's been a nice twist.
All
Wow.
right.
All right, now we can start the show.
Yes.
All right, anyways.
And I will completely keep following you too. So
I'm going to check.
What time of day will you be doing this?
I'm not telling you.
Random checks.
Anyways, Friday Fun and Games, please.
All right, so here we go. We've done this before. We've not done this with Alan Stiles. So now this is a new opportunity for you. Dave, you are going to go
I don't
first.
think Chris has done this game either.
I think he has.
I think it
I've
was
hit
just
the post
Zachariah.
before.
I'm really excited.
Oh,
now.
was it just Zachariah in that day?
Chris wouldn't remember.
Maybe. All right.
Oh.
So, Dave, you're going to go first with
All right.
Dave, and
Okay.
then Alan, and then Chris Verlotta, and then
Okay.
Chris Watkins.
Okay.
And if there's time, maybe a group performance. We're going to hit the No, we're not
No.
doing that. We're not doing that to you again.
Oh, is this when Zachariah couldn't? Never mind. Go ahead.
That's
Be
every
more
Friday Fun and
specific.
Games.
Yeah, right. He couldn't.
All right. So, Dave, we're going to do the alphabet game. Pick a letter for me.
C.
C. You're going to start with the letter C. You've got 90 seconds to go C, D, all the way through, back to C, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Under this category, you've got to name first name or last name, actors. Start the clock.
Colin Hanks, Danny DeVito, Eric Estrada, Frank Sinatra, Gal Gadot, Harry Hamlin, Ingrid Bergman, Jeff Foxworthy or Jeff Bridges,
Okay,
K,
two.
Chris Christopherson, L, Larry David, M, Michael Douglas, and Nancy Sinatra, Otis Redding, P,
musicians?
no, okay, Olivier, Laurence Olivier, P, Paul, Paulina Porskova, probably not an actress, so Paul Rudd, Q, Quincy Adams, nope, that's the president, Quincy Jones, QR, no, Qui-Gon Jinn was a Star Wars guy, skip, R, Robert Redford, S, Sean Connery, Telly Savalas, the girl in the Tarantino movie, Uma Thurman, Victor, Vanna White. She was in a movie. TVW. Walt Whitman. He's a poet. X. Xavier McDaniel.
Basketball player.
Giannis Antetokounmpo.
We're there.
Yeah, I'm done.
That was awesome.
Sorry,
That was
incredible.
Yeah, I would not.
The problem is Verlott's playing judge, and I'm like, no.
Okay.
Walt Whitman was very.
That was a stretch. He was in a play, probably.
Maybe. Alan, would you
Yes,
like to
sir.
pick a letter to start with?
Pick A, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
A seems
It's
the
advantage.
best way to go.
But I got to go all the way down, though.
A through Z.
Hey.
I mean,
Let's
you
start
got to
with
do
A.
it anyway.
We're just going to give you A to start. It's your first time trying this.
Yeah.
But you are going to get colleges.
Whew.
Okay.
University. Start clock.
Colleges, Auburn.
And you can pass, by the way. Yeah, go.
Auburn, and then after that, what starts with a B?
B is after.
Yeah.
Wow.
Bliss University, Bliss College. That's where Cam Newton went.
There we go.
Cal.
There you go.
D for wherever D'Angelo Russell went to college. No, I'm kidding. Detroit University,
There you
University of Detroit. After D, that's E, University of England. I'm sure they have one.
Don't think so.
Probably right.
And then after that, we have Cal State Fullerton. We can
Acceptable.
go Fullerton. Have G. We can go Georgia.
There you
After
go.
that, G H. H.
University of Huddersfield.
Hale State, Mississippi State. Can we go there?
You're going really obscure with that.
Iowa State. That's easy. J.
Not Iowa.
Jackson State.
A lot of states.
J. K. Kent State. After that, L. Louisville.
State.
M. Mississippi. Ole Miss, Mississippi. N.
No.
Oh my goodness. N. There should be an easy one here. Nebraska.
Oh, wow, let's get
Cornhuskers.
it.
Nebraska. Oregon.
Yeah.
And then after, okay,
there
yeah,
you go.
Yeah.
90 seconds.
Oral
There we go.
Redenbacher.
All right.
Can I write down the alphabet so I can just?
Is it just easier to start with A?
That's what I did.
I was
All
like,
right.
it feels so much easier to just.
All right, Chris Verlaud.
Have it in front.
Oral red.
90 seconds for you. You get. You want to start with A? Is it easiest?
Yes.
Okay, we're going to start with A. We'll make the game easiest. Chris, 90 seconds. Animals, types of animals.
Oh,
Aardvark. B is baboon. C is cat. D is dog.
Boy.
E is elephant. F is for farm animal. Fox. G is for giraffe. H is heffalump.
What?
Heffalump? I don't know what you're doing.
He's laughing like a
hyena. I is for impala. J is a jaguar. K is kangaroo. L lemur. M monkey. N is going to be a narwhal. O is osprey. P is going to be a polar bear. Q, I don't know.
Skip.
R
Quail.
is Q is quail. R is rattlesnake. S is snake. T is tree snake. U V W X Y zebra.
Pretty good. Really good. Also, props to nobody's messed up the alphabet yet. I actually think I was expecting somebody to.
I wrote it down.
Oh, did you? Okay.
All right, Chris Watkins. We'll let you start with the letter A for Chris Watkins.
Babies first alphabet.
It's like a bad episode of Sesame Street.
You are getting alphabet starting at A with 90 seconds with movie titles.
Oh, you're joking.
Oh, that's
my
not A.
gosh.
That's not A.
A Walk to Remember. B, Men in Black, right? Because you said it doesn't. It doesn't.
Sure.
Not
Your
doesn't have
last
to start
name,
with
you're
B.
right.
C. Go for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
C is Coco. D is Drumline. E is E. Think of an E movie here. E.T. Hey, how about that? F is for Fahrenheit something.
451.
That one too. G is for George of the Jungle. H is for Happy Feet. I is Invincible. J is Juno, Jumanji. K is King Kong. L is Ladybird. M is My Cousin Vinny. Yes.
Nice pull.
N is let's see here. N is for
No More Time.
yeah. It's for why can't I think of a movie that starts with an N?
Night at the Roxbury.
Night at the Roxbury.
Or also No
Country for Old Men.
Country for Old Men.
yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
There we go.
Oppenheimer.
We're going to get through this one time. A through C.
I literally just while we were doing that, I literally just bought drinks in Vegas for Simone and her friends. I'd never done an Apple thing before. She had sent me a request, and I just hit the button.
She sent you a request?
I told her I said I'd buy her a drink in Vegas. I said I'll buy you.
She held you to it.
And she sent me the thing, and I just hit
At
send on it.
9:56.
I
She's living the best
that's
life.
Vegas.
Way to go,
That's
Simone.
Vegas.
Is this the end of the night or starting the day?
That's
for
the
her?
question for you.
Starting.
I imagine maybe we'll hear the Mama Said Knock You Out. You're going to go over that at some point during the show.
Probably.
But what is coming up?
We have a lot to get to. De'Aaron Fox, is he going to play Saturday after he gets his
wife doesn't want him to.
After he gets his jersey retired.
All right, well,
Hunter Patterson, 115.
Listen to everybody, listen along, or like me, follow along on Twitter and keep up. For everybody who joined us, thank you so much. Have a great weekend, everybody. Please be safe. See you back Monday. Light the beam. Bye-bye now.
Last season, the Sacramento Kings gave us a little bit of everything. A Pacific Division type GM of the Year, Coach of the Year, Clutch Player of the Year, All-Stars and All-NBA performers. Plus, we got to light the beam.
Here's a steal by Fox.